All right, welcome in. We're a couple of new faces if you've been watching on the Hockey Podcast Network in the past. My name is producer Clark. This is my buddy Max over to my left, I guess, but you're right if you're watching this. Max, welcome in to the Hockey Podcast Network. How you doing tonight?
Not too bad, pal. How you doing? It's like we don't
I'm
know
good.
each other. That was an intro like you'd never met me before once in your life
So,
or
Max, tell
something.
me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a Preds fan. We're here to talk some hockey. How's that sound?
That sounds fantastic. So tonight's game is going to be the Nashville Predators versus the New York Rangers, and we do have a special guest coming in a little bit later on in the show, and we'll let you guys know who that is as we go. For those who might not know us, my name again is Clark, and I'm with Max. We are the hosts of a show called The Squadcast, which lives here on YouTube as well as Facebook and some other places as well, Instagram, Twitter, etc. So we're super pumped to be joining the Hockey Podcast Network. Tonight's our first game that we're going to be doing on the network, and we're looking forward to a couple more as we go along. So Max, maybe let them know about you and your Predators fandom, and maybe that's kind of the reason we're doing game number one as a Predators game. So what's going on with you?
I guess so. I don't know what I did to deserve the special treatment. Did I win the rock paper scissors battle or something to have our first one be the Rangers and Preds? I don't know, man. It's a pretty exciting time, and yeah, just pumped to be on the network. As you alluded to, we're obviously the co-hosts of a little program in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada called the Squadcast, a variety sports talk show. But I tell you what, I know that our love of sports and I guess our friendship really stemmed from a love of hockey. So very excited to be talking Preds and Rangers on this Sunday evening with quite a few sports in the world. So thank you very much for choosing to join us tonight, because we know it's a busy night in the football world, but very excited to talk some hockey in a very pivotal matchup in the midway part of December here.
Yeah, so tonight, for those who are tuning in from the States, because I know that there's probably going to be a chunk of those of Americans tuning in with the Predators and Rangers, obviously. Up in Canada, tonight is the Grey Cup, which is basically the Super Bowl of the Canadian Football League. That's happening basically right now. So that's one thing that I know a lot of our friends are probably tuned into tonight. And then, of course, the big Sunday night football game. But this is a game of the night for us, I'd say. I'm looking over in the comments here. We can probably put some up here. Mr. Fantasy Football says, "What up, everyone? We're just chilling, man. We're about to watch some hockey." Jacob loves THPN. He says, "What's up? Welcome in." Thanks, Jacob. Jacob's been blowing up the comments already, so that's awesome. Josh, our buddy Josh from THPN is tuned in. He says, "Excited for this Quadcast, guys, tonight." That's fantastic. Max, this is something that you were probably not so sure about. Slayer says 8-4 Nashville tonight.
I don't hate
Jacob,
it. I don't hate the prediction. I really don't. 5-2. I'd be okay with that. I'm just hoping for a few goals. I'm hoping it's going to be a high octane offensive game. And obviously, the Rangers are capable of putting the puck in the net with a couple of studs up front. But yeah, we'll see if my boys can hang with their. We'll call it a defensive style of game, anyways. One that's maybe not the most high octane in the world, but again, still gets the job done as indicated by the 16-10-1 record on the season.
Absolutely. SD McCrawley, sup fellas, sup SD McCrawley. We're super pumped to get to know everybody here, because I know that the THPN has a built-in, viewership already, and we're hoping that maybe some of our viewers will maybe come in here as well and hang out. Now you see, okay, over here, Ava's already starting the talk here. Jacob Trouba is in fact a stud, and it's Ava's fault that I have this Jacob Trouba shirt over my shoulder here.
I thought he was supposed to be suspended tonight. I'm just kidding, Ava.
No.
I'm just kidding.
No, you see,
we're
we're
gonna have a tough potential interview if we go down that road this quick in the program.
Yeah, tell me about it. I've been having some interesting group chats in the last couple of days about how Jacob Trouba's hits were clean, and I'm a firm believer in those both of those hits.
Oh, you are, yeah. Interesting.
Oh yeah, are you not?
Well, when you got Nathan McKinnon on your fantasy team, I don't know.
Like no, I don't. One game, I traded him away. I traded him away.
I didn't. So
right. That was a bad move. You should have known Jacob Trouba was going to knock his lights out in game 26 or whatever it is.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
So Ava, for those who don't know, Ava is an awesome TikTok creator. She's a big Rangers fan, and she's going to be joining us later in the show. She is our special guest later in the show. So stay tuned. She's going to be joining us probably in the second period, Ava. So hang out for a bit. I'll send you the link in a little while. And we'll have some fun with Ava when she pops in. We'll get her reaction on how the game is going as well. Max, you got the game fired up and ready to roll. I got the check it in on MSG. It's about to start off here. I'm just going to also hit live over on TikTok, everybody. TikTok at producer Clark _. Check me out over there on TikTok. since the game is about to start up, I'm going to throw this up for a little while. You can see our names as well on the sidebar as we go. But game's about to see puck drop. You see that for the Rangers there, Sammy Blais and Igor Shesterkin are not playing tonight. So those are a couple of big names for the Rangers out. Max, how about any injuries for the Predators going on tonight? Who's out? Who's in?
As far as injuries are concerned, not a ton. It's a lot of sickness. Ryan Johansson just recently added to the COVID list, unfortunately. And Matt Duchene is looking like he's also going to be held out of tonight's game, if I am correct in reading Adam Vignan's tweet prior to the game. Yeah, we've got no Matt Duchene either. So the Preds are missing a couple of their centers. Everybody was talking before the season and over the last couple seasons that, hey, maybe the Preds are going to be better off without these guys. Well, 27-ish games into the season this year, it's been anything but. Those are two heavily relied upon forwards in our lineup and big parts of the offense in the 2021-2022 Nashville Predators. So it's going to be a little bit tough sledding. Philip Forsberg's going to have to be a presence tonight on the offensive side of the puck. And I mean, Roman Yossi's just going to have to continue being Roman Josi if the Preds are going to put a couple pucks by Mr. I believe it's Georgiev tonight in between the pipes with the Rangers.
Yes, that is my understanding that Georgiev is starting tonight. So that's fantastic. Oh, I got Jacob over on my TikTok channel as well as the YouTube watch party. So here we go. This is going to be a ton of fun. Max, what are your expectations?
Hey, is this Adam Fox guy good? I'm seeing a whole lot of highlights prior to the game here. Is
they
he good?
Keep showing him on here.
I don't get it. It seems like he's an offensive producer himself. Hey, just kidding. I'm just again validating my early Roman Josi for his second Norris in 3 years campaign. We're just going to get that on the record straight and away. Sorry, Ava, but it's Roman Josi's trophy to lose this year again.
Oh yeah, best looking guy in the league, right, Max?
Oh, zero question, without a doubt.
Yep.
Next to Ryan Ellis, who I might model my beard after, unfortunately, dearly departed from the Nashville Predators. Hopefully he gets back in the lineup soon for the Flyers, man. Geez, that's a tough loss for them and a kind of, I'd say, a big reason for some of their early struggles. You know that just based on the presence that he brings for the Flyers, that he probably is making the difference between a couple wins and losses for them. So,
yeah, I was going to say, I can't imagine that losing him is ever going to be an easy thing. I know that he was injured a little bit for the Preds over the last couple of years, and I'm sure that you could probably tell the difference between a Ryan Ellis-led Predators and a non-Ryan Ellis-led Predators. Donnell Weaver's checking in. What up, gentlemen? How are your Sunday nights going so far? Not too bad, Donnell. Thanks for popping in. We're going to be checking out the game here as puck drops about probably about 3 or 4 minutes away here or less. So we're hanging out, having a good time.
They should really do this, though, very much like baseball. You know, Clark, how it's like 6:07 or 7:07 is first pitch. They should really do that with hockey. They should really say
put it on there.
7:07, 7:10, you know?
I mean, and I can speak from experience working in junior hockey in the past. Like, we timed that stuff out. We knew what time puck drop was going to probably happen. So they can easily do it. I'm sure they have it timed to the second. So why not just put it on there? I agree.
Yeah.
They should do that. Yeah, because like you said, they list that on all the apps and everything. They say what time it's going to be. So why wouldn't you just do that for hockey as well? I agree. Donnell says, I'm a regular on here. So some of these guys that do the live stream likes me. There you go, Donnell.
Glad to have you,
hopefully we'll like you too. I can't see any problems with that. We're off.
Throw Josh's comment up because I really like I like the prediction here. I really do.
I'll say 4-2 Preds win for your guys' debut.
I like it. I love it. You know what, though? Maybe we should talk to the audience a little bit here. Who's going to score the first goal tonight? Who's it coming from?
Let's do that.
Where are we going? I'm going to say it's Ellie Tolvanen. He's been on a streak. He's now known in Nashville Predators fan circles as Ellie Tipvanen or Ellie Tippaman, whatever you prefer. He's shown off his hand-eye coordination after a really slow start to the season. So he scored a really, really nice one in New Jersey the other night as he's got four-game goal streak, I believe, currently for the young Finnish forward. And again, another guy that's going to have to step up with Ryan Johansson and Matt Duchene out of the lineup. So.
Absolutely. We got some TikTok questions coming in as well, and I'm going to mix those in throughout the night. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to say that we see Capo Kakko get the first goal for the Rangers tonight. I think he's been coming on a little bit in the last 10 or so games, and I think he's going to be flying out here tonight. Oh, Ava said it's Kreider's 600th game tonight, so she's going to pick Chris Kreider. Good choice. Kreider. Also on a couple of my fantasy teams, so would not be mad. Josh says Trouba gets the first one tonight. Again, hanging out over my shoulder here, Jacob Trouba.
Josh, we asked for first goal, not first questionable hit of the evening, man. Come on now. Sorry, Ava, we're going to be going along with that narrative for the entire night.
Now, here's the goaltender matchup. Your boy, UC Saros, gets the net tonight. 235 goals against 921 save percentage. Not too bad. I didn't catch Georgiev's
Clark, you know what they call that in the NHL?
Good.
Studley.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
Studley.
Good. I thought you were going to say
UC Staros, as he's known in again, Nashville Predators fan circles. Kid's a stud. Took the reins over from franchise legend Pekka Rinne, and man, I tell you what, I know that the Preds drafted Yaroslav Askarov a couple of years ago. I don't think UC's giving up that net anytime soon.
Max, here's a topic for us maybe throughout the evening as we go. Is Connor Bedard going to make Team Canada?
Yes.
That's from Aaron M on TikTok. He has like 7 points in the last 2 scrimmages that they've had against university players. He's 16 years old. And I think he's going to make the team after all. So we keep asking questions over on TikTok. If you are over on TikTok and you want to watch the stream with us, head over to the Hockey Podcast Network. We're live streaming there, and you can check us out over on YouTube if you want to check out the full show with myself, Max, and our special guest later in the show, NHL Ava. You got to check it out. So it is underway. The puck is down, and it is underway. We got the Predators in their white uniforms with gold and black trim, and the Rangers in their classic blue and red and white.
Did you just say gold and black trim? Do you even watch hockey? It's navy. Come on.
Is it navy? Oh, sorry.
Come on, man.
Well, that's why you're here. That's why you're here. You're the Preds expert.
That's a tough look early in the program.
Hey,
here comes Roman Josi streaking down with Ellie Tolvanen. Oh, and he gets the first shot on that. I love that. That's good. That's bodes well for my prediction. I don't want to brush by the Connor Bedard topic though. It's we've got the game underway. This is super exciting. Just really happy to be here. Thanks for interacting.
Totally Navy, by the way. 100% Navy.
Yeah, 100% Navy. You said black. Interesting.
Yep.
Regardless, let's not brush by the Connor Bedard discussion because I know that's going to be one, especially for Canadian fans' minds as the World Juniors approach. I think they've got no choice but to bring that kid to this tournament. They really don't.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, sorry, you were on mute. You were dadding. That's right. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah,
Connor Bedard.
I was muting. I'm talking to TikTok. So if I go mute and I look like I'm talking, I'm just talking to TikTok. I don't want to bug you and interrupt you.
Fair enough. So that's that team chemistry thing that we got to continue to have. Got it. All righty. So Connor Bedard, how do you leave this kid off the team though, right? Regardless of what he's shown in the scrimmages, which has been nothing but offensive outbursts. I mean, this kid we talked about it on our show last week. You got to have him just in terms of the development side of things, right? 16-year-old, 13th forward. He might even make this team as a top 2-line player at this point. The kid's just absolutely phenomenal. So
I hear you. Quick question for you, Max. From Donnell. Hey, Max, is that behind you? Is that the Predators Winter Classic jersey? Please tell me that it is an Adidas jersey and not that trashy Fanatics jersey.
Donnell must have watched our segment, Clark, about how, you know what, Donnell, you should ask Clark about how he feels about Fanatics jerseys. But you know what, my man? Of course it's Adidas. Of course it's the real. Of course it's the authentic. That's got to be the stuff right there. But yes, no, I'm much happier with the Winter Classic jerseys than what they just released for their Stadium Series jerseys. We can get into that a little bit later in the program. But,
we got time. We got all the time.
We got time. Yeah, unfortunately.
I'm a hockey fan who likes to be budget conscious, and I do have several Fanatics. I do have an Adidas or two, but I do have several.
You know
Fanatics.
what's ironic about that?
This one is a Fanatics jersey, for example.
Yes, I was going to say, you know what's ironic about being budget conscious is you, as a fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they are not budget conscious when it comes to their forward corp. So I just find kind of ironic, you know.
I agree. They are. They like to throw out the cash. And I don't. So there you go. Yeah, my personality is not the same as my favorite hockey team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Aaron Matthews, he's one of our viewers actually. She was checking in.
That makes me so happy that Ben Harper's not playing tonight. That makes me happy. Yeah, he's healthy scratched.
Aaron Matthews suggests Shane Wright and Connor Bedard together. Are you kidding me? Aaron, make sure you hit that subscribe button on THPN's channel down below as we get going. We're going to be jumping on here a little bit more and more as we kind of get into this thing. So make sure you hit subscribe. And if you haven't done it and you're watching and your name's not Aaron Matthews, also hit subscribe. But yeah, Shane Wright, he's a bit more of a power forward type of player, but to have him, the possibility of him being the number one pick this draft, probably, most likely, more than most likely, and then Connor Bedard, more than most likely, the number one pick in the next year's draft, they could potentially be on the same line. So that's pretty exciting as Canadian fans, because I know that there is a few guys that are going to be NHL, like in the NHL currently, that probably won't be playing, as happens every year with Team Canada. I know Cole Sillinger is one name that comes to mind as a current NHLer that's probably not going to be making the trip to Edmonton for this tournament. But we're looking forward to a couple of futures on Team Canada this year, which usually isn't the case, because the team is usually, especially for Team Canada, it's usually a lot of older players. It's usually a 19-year-old tournament, as they say. That's kind of the quote up in Canada. I got a question here earlier on from Jacob. He says, "Hey, Clark, I think this could be both of us here, Max, but do you think Mark Stone will make the All-Star team? Also, did you know the All-Star weekend is in Vegas this year?" I did, and that's extremely exciting. Good for Vegas too. I know a lot of hockey fans like to hate on Vegas a little bit, because they're the new guys in town and they're great. Mark Stone's an interesting case. He's been hurt so much this year, but he's starting to get on a bit of a tear. I have him in one of my fantasy teams, and I've kind of just been waiting for him to kind of crack off, and he's definitely starting to do that. I think he has points in like his last 6 or 7 games in a row. So that's pretty exciting for Vegas fans as Georgiev covers it up here. Max, let's do a clock check here. What do you got on the clock? 15:58?
I've got a replay being shown right now of some Ranger getting dumped by Luke Cunnin. Matthias Ekholm looking great as ever. I got 15:58 on the clock as they're about to resume play here.
Are you? Yeah, I think we're about bang on. Are you on the MSG network feed, or are you watching on the Preds feed?
Am I on the MSG feed?
Okay, so that's going to be the only difference.
I'm embarrassed for you that you had to ask. Come on, man.
Hey, it's Navy, Max.
With the
Navy.
with the black trim. That's right. Absolutely. Yes, 100%.
I should have said dark trim instead of black.
Oh, that was a tough look. That was tough.
Hey, this is it's my first rodeo.
Oh, Yakov trending at the side of the net, looking like he wants to bury here. Oh, wow.
When he gets
Georgiev
one in front
standing
too.
tall there.
Yeah,
yikes!
Fantastic. So we're about bang on here. We're about bang on.
Preds are showing some pretty good energy. They're at the tail end here of a 4-game road trip. They're perfect so far on the trip. Actually, 3-0 coming into tonight's contest. So, man, if they could find a way to grab a couple of points here, that'd be a perfect 8-point grab on a 4-game road trip at a critical point in the season. Man, Roman Yossi's so good.
Oh. Max, if you take a look at our our live stream here, you can see our last matchups here. Let's have a look. The Rangers are coming off a 2-1 win over the Buffalo Sabres. I think it was on Friday night. They also lost to the Avalanche, and I know Devon Taves had a huge night for the Avs. He got me 6 fantasy points because he was my plus-minus defenseman, and he got 3 points, and he was +3. So I'll take that every day of the week. They came off a drubbing of the Blackhawks earlier last week, 6-2. They beat the Blackhawks actually back-to-back, 3-2 as well earlier in the week. And then the Rangers beat the Sharks 1-0. For the Predators, Max, maybe I'll let you go off on this. They've been winning, they've won a couple of games here in the last few days. How are you feeling about their last 5 or 6 games?
Yeah, 4 in a row is pretty good last time I checked. But yeah, no, that Boston Bruins game, that's one that stands out to me. The Preds put a ton at Jeremy Swayman, and he came up with, I believe, a 42-save shutout, if I'm not mistaken. Other than that, the Preds have played some pretty solid hockey across the board over the course of the last week and a half. And for a team that people really didn't expect a ton of, myself included, I dubbed them competitive-ish to begin the season, but 16-10-1, this start has certainly, I guess, elevated my my belief in what this team is capable of accomplishing in a very, very tight Central Division. But yeah, it's been some good hockey as of late. Just hoping they can finish this trip strong. It's always scary, obviously, when your team goes into another barn to end a road trip, because you're a little worried. You're like, okay, boys, don't take your foot off the gas, especially in a fun city like New York. It's one of those ones where you're like, okay, guys, just take care of business here, grab your 2 points, go home, be really pumped about the road trip that you just had, and just keep it chugging along as you get into a really important part of the season here. So
it is an important part. And Max, one thing that I think often gets overlooked at this time of year is it is kind of that middle of the season. It kind of drags on at this point of the season. It's not the beginning of the season anymore. It's right before the Christmas break. So everyone's kind of just playing to get to Christmas. It's too far away from the trade deadline. teams are, starting to figure out who they are. And I know that I've heard in the past that November and early December is a really tough time of the year for a lot of teams because you kind of are into a routine, but you're not close enough to the playoffs yet. So it's a long ways to go. And there's just kind of an air of, oh man. So I know that gets into people's heads a little bit at this time of season. So I totally understand that this is a big time of year. If you can get some points at this point of the season, it really helps later on in the year because
was complacency the word that you're looking for?
That exactly. It could be exactly it.
Big words on a Sunday night after watching
big words. Big words. Max, tell me a little bit about, if you can remember, it looks like the Preds and Rangers did already play once this year back in October. Rangers won 3-1. Do you remember much about the game? What can you tell me about that matchup?
Philip Tomasino's first goal, his first NHL career goal. It was kind of a weird one. It was off the foot of Shesterkin. And that's really what I remember is, again, the Preds actually had a pretty good effort that night. It was more so the fact that they just couldn't get anything by what's becoming one of the elite goaltenders in the NHL. So I'm really hoping that theme doesn't translate into the last matchup that the Preds will see the Rangers this year. But I remember it was a bit of a tighter game. The Rangers opened it up as the game went along. The Preds had a really solid start, though. They just couldn't find a way to get the puck past Shesterkin, and he made some incredible saves in that game, if I do remember correctly. It's just, it's one of those things where again, you're playing against some really good goaltenders in this league, and it's again, if you can, sometimes you just got to find a way, right? And it's hard to do that. Much like some of our work days, sometimes when you got a tough work day in front of you, it's hard to just find a way. And that's what the Predators were facing in that gloomy night in October. But again, just going back to the top note of Philip Tomasino scoring his first goal, seeing the energy as being one of the Preds' top prospects, he's really started to show some signs of life in his game since that first goal. So, like I said, that'll be how I remember that game, not as a loss, but as the night that Philip Tomasino broke the barrier on scoring in the NHL. So
you always got to find some positives, even in games where they don't win. Now, one thing you will see is that the Predators are sitting 5th in the Western Conference. They don't have the division standings on this app that I'm looking at, but in terms of the entire conference, they're sitting 5th at the moment with 33 points. Like Max has said earlier, they have won 4 in a row. Not too bad. If you scroll down a little bit to the Eastern Conference, you see New York also in 5th with 39 points. So again, the Eastern Conference is a little bit more top heavy, but the Western Conference is nothing to sneeze at. Nashville, I think, Max, you would agree with me that Nashville has probably exceeded expectations a little bit so far this year. I know you don't love talking about the early season results, but you have to admit that probably early in the year so far, happy results so far, I would think.
Well, I'm going to justify it, and you've heard the story a couple of times, obviously, as we share a desk together. So not a desk, a stage every Tuesday night.
Literally a stage, yeah.
But if people remember the story of the 2020-2021 Nashville Predators, they had a 1% chance of making the playoffs halfway through the season. And Clark is going to tune me out right now because he's heard this story 3 times. So I'm just going to continue talking as he wants to. But anyways, like I said, the Predators had less than a 1% chance of making the playoffs last year. So when it comes to the early parts of the season, I mean, again, it's hard to get too excited. It's hard to get too high and too low in these early months of the year, especially knowing that, again, anything can happen. We saw it in 2019 with the St. Louis Blues, that they were last place in the NHL, I believe, on New Year's Day or just after New Year's Day. They go on to win a Stanley Cup. Again, same thing with my Preds last year. They were dead in the water, and they found a way to go on a huge run despite a lot of key injuries. So when it comes to these early parts of the year, I'm still tuned in. I'm still looking forward to the games. I'm still wanting, obviously, a good, strong start. But with that being said, I just got the experience from last year. Anything can truly happen in this league. So it's a matter of, hey, do you get a little too, as Matthias Ekholm would say, do you get a little too high? Do you get a little too low in the early / mid parts of the season? Toronto Maple Leafs fans know it all too well. Oh, sorry, Clark, you're back and listening.
I'm listening. Yeah, I listened pretty much the whole thing you were saying.
Oh, you didn't Friedge me there. Hey, good stuff.
Not
good
totally.
Stuff.
Only half Friedge. Only half Elliot Friedman. Do you? Yeah. So, anyways, that's great story, Max. I'm so happy to hear it again.
Wonderful. Yeah. Hey, who did you work in junior hockey or something?
Yeah. Yes. So I was. I had somebody asking.
Hey,
so
where's my mute button? Oh, sorry. Wait, you heard that? Oh, damn.
With me being a Leafs fan.
What did you crack there, good sir? What do you
I
got
have
there?
just a sparkling water, just its flavored sparkling water.
Yeah.
Nothing too
Alex
crazy.
Carrier walking in. Oh, I like the early energy the Preds are showing here. This is looking good. Couple of good chances.
We do have a beer sponsor over on our other show, but I'm not sure if we're supposed to bring that into this yet. So I'm going to hold off. I'm just going to have some water.
Yeah,
here.
let's not get canceled on the first night. Hey, pal.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
So I'm just looking at these standings, but I'm just looking at the Leafs and how they have 3 teams in their own division, right? Basically right neck and neck with each other, which I don't love that. But I am getting some question marks, Max, because as you know, with me being a Toronto Maple Leafs fan and the fact that I have something that resembles a Boston Bruins jersey on my wall.
Wow, it's like I told you it would happen, hey?
Yeah, but you know what? I have to represent the SJ, my boys in Estevan, the Estevan Bruins. It is not a Boston Bruins jersey, I can promise you that. But as we get back to the game here, we're just about 9 minutes into the game. Nice little 2-on-2 here, but broken up. Now, who is that? Who's number 10?
Zibanejad, Panarin.
No, on your guys' side.
The Preds, number 10, Colton Sissons. Come on, man.
Sissons breaks up that 2-on-2. That was a nice breakup. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Nice breakup, just like Taylor Swift.
Score here. Ooh, Taylor Swift could write a song about that breakup. I agree.
Taylor Swift could write an album about one breakup.
She
hope everybody's here for the Taylor Swift jokes because there'll be a few.
That's pretty much all we do here.
You know what? Poor Jake Gyllenhaal, by the way. We'll get back to hockey in a second. We got 2+ hours of hockey talk, but poor Jake Gyllenhaal. Wasn't the rumor that they dated for 3 months and then all of a sudden this guy's got 10 years worth of just baggage being brought? Anyways.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like the Toronto Maple Leafs, right? Just
the funny part is that now I've seen, and I know Ava can probably attest to this. I've seen some comments now because the next album on her little re-release schedule is the one right after she broke up with
Georgia gives it the puck.
Who am I thinking of? Who's the guitar player singer guy? Who am I thinking of here?
Ed Sheeran. There's a lot of them. John Mayer.
I don't
know. A good description.
Who's that one guy who does that weird thing where he plays the guitar and sings? No, he's like that. He got a bit of kind of medium length hair. Who am I thinking of? Shoot. John Mayer. Thank you, Ava. I knew that was going to come.
I said John Mayer.
Did you? When?
Wow. See, you don't listen to me. That's fine.
I Friedmaned you, I guess.
Yeah.
No, but anyways, the next one is John Mayer. So he's now the comments are like, oh man,
he's on the hot seat.
Yeah, he's coming. He just got over all the bashing probably, and now he's getting back onto it.
His seat's hotter than Travis Green's was last week.
Woo! Ouch.
Good references. I slept well last night. I got a lot of good references.
Well, that's good. The brain's clicking, hey?
The yak in the corner here.
Let's look at some of the comments because we got
nice
some good comments coming in.
There. Wow. Preds have got some early pressure going on. Are they about to go on the power play, or is Yak going to the box here?
Looks like a hook. It looks like Hedel is going to the box.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Predators power play coming up.
It's actually been a pretty good
comments here. Let's look at some comments. We got one from Jeremy coming in. Jeremy says, sadly, my Giants and Knicks both lost, but hopefully the Rangers can get this win. So there you go. There you go.
Well, Jeremy, I'm sorry to say that this Sunday hasn't been a lot different than many in the last few years for you if you're a big Giants and Knicks fan. Sorry to say, better times are coming.
You're right. Donnell says, hey, Max, we all got to say hockey fans don't, and I mean don't, like their home jersey of yellow. Interesting.
That's okay. It's gold. I'm a little colorblind. I'm not super biased. I'm a little biased, but it's gold, not yellow. That's fine.
There we go.
Golden Navy.
What are we saying here? Oh, okay. Front Row Productions. What's up, Front Row Productions? That looks an awful lot like my office in his profile picture.
It does.
Are you in my office? I didn't know it was in Vegas this year. This is the All-Star game. Runs to look at airfare to go to All-Star weekend. So
that would be one hell of a party. It really would.
That would be a good time. I wouldn't be mad. Donnell says, diehard NY sports fan of the tri-state area, New York and New Jersey sports here. Looks bad for the Islanders, Devils, Jets, Knicks, Giants, and pretty bad. But the Rangers and Nets have been good so far this season. Yeah, that's a rough 4 out of 5 out of 7 or whatever it is. 4 out of 6. Not a great record on that one. But hey, you got 6 teams, and we here in Saskatchewan have the Rough Riders, and they're also out. So there you go. Oh, Ava says, I'm a Jets fan. I feel it. Yeah, the New York
Zach
Jets.
Wilson
Also,
today did not look good. Not good.
not great.
No.
Not great. Over on TikTok, if you guys want to see the whole show, we're over on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube page. You can check it out. Just search the Hockey Podcast Network on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button and come in and chat with us over there. You can see the whole broadcast. Is that like podcast mixed with broadcast? You can
like
see
that.
it all over there. Not bad. Kevin Fife's checking in. I see the Myatt fam's checking in. I see Connor Anderson, our boy from Yorkton, Saskatchewan's checking in. Tybot asks, what's the name of that Bruins jersey behind you? So actually, it's Tanner Fraze. He was the captain of the Estevan Bruins back in 2013, 14. So he was the captain there. Chris Weigel's checking in. Chris, what's going on? So we got some good people coming in over on TikTok. Make sure you head over and check us out on the Hockey Podcast Network. Max, tell me about this power play for the Preds. What do they got going on this year? How's it been?
It's been pretty solid, actually. As far as the numbers are concerned, I wanted to say they were rated in the top 10. It's been a little while since I've actually checked out the official numbers, but I'm sure I could bring that up. I have the technology. It's more so a matter of how quickly I can access it. But it's actually been a breath of fresh air compared to the last couple of seasons. And Dan Lambert, who was well noted as, what was he, the head coach of the Spokane Chiefs for many, many years? Maybe not many years,
sorry,
but
I'm just switching
years.
I'm switching my audio setup. I want to see if I turn my speakers up here, I wonder if my TikTok viewers can actually hear you, because that would actually give them more value if they can hear you and understand what's going on in the conversation.
Or, just tell them to open up YouTube and then they can.
I've done it like 10 times.
Well, do it again.
Go on YouTube. We're over there live. We're having a good time. Dan Lambert. Yes, he was Spokane, I believe. Is that what you're asking?
Yes, absolutely. So no, if I'm looking up the Predators' power play percentage, currently slotted at number 8 in the league at 24.7%. Sorry, 24, just ahead of them, the New York Rangers at 24.7%. I misspoke there. But yeah, no, this has been a breath of fresh air to kind of start this year. I think it's just been the deployment of some different things, right? You've got Ellie Tolvin and Philip Forsberg, who the unit was starting to click at the end of last year. It really was. And now it's just kind of starting to actually see some fruits of the labor as Nick Cousins on the doorstep looking like he wants one. That's the one thing that I still struggle with, though. If you got Nick Cousins, no disrespect to him, but if he's on your second unit power play, wow, it's amazing to me that it's a top 10 power play in the league. But and again, no Ryan Johansson, no Matt Duchene tonight, so we're not seeing the full force of both power play units for the Preds. But with that being said, though, too, no, it's been good. After I know that a much maligned topic of conversation amongst Predators fans was how the power play was deployed, the execution level. And even dating back to some of the deep playoff runs like the 2017, 2018s, the power play was really just not a good thing for them. It was almost a disadvantage for them to be on the power play, which, you know what? It's not supposed to be. They call it the man advantage for a reason. It's supposed to be an advantage. So this year it's at least shaping up to be that way, and hopefully it continues that way.
Absolutely. We've seen, we just saw the Rangers kill that power play off, their penalty kill, if you want to call it that. Our boy Tanner Jeannot is out there right now. He's 84. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
Our boy Tanner Jeannot, he has been on the Squadcast in the past. He is a friend of the show. He's on the ice right now for the Predators. From Oxbow, Saskatchewan here. Oh, you got his jersey?
That would be his signature right there for those that can see it. Mr. Tanner Jeannot, friend of the program, friend of the show. Excellent Sasky boy.
Yeah. Speaking of the Squadcast in itself, this week is going to be a fun episode. If you want to tune in on our channels, make sure you hit us up. I guess I'll put it. I don't know if I should put it in the comments. I can put it in the comments. If you search here on YouTube, the Squadcast show, you can find us there. So head over there and check us out. Hit subscribe. This week on the show, we have Toronto Blue Jays pitcher Ross Stripling joining us. This is actually his third time on the show. We've had him twice before. So obviously in the midst of a lockout in Major League Baseball, former Dodger, current Blue Jay pitcher Ross Stripling, he's going to have an interesting perspective on everything that's going on. And on top of that, we have another special guest on Tuesday, Stephen Ellis from the Hockey News. He is covering the World Juniors pretty extensively this year. Plus, he's an NHL writer himself, editor for the Hockey News. So we're going to have him on as well. Who's
our guest booker? They did a hell of a job for this week.
Well, it's kind of a blowout episode, so to speak, Max, because not only is it one of our last shows before Christmas, but we run the show out of a studio, and we're kind of switching things up here coming up after Christmas. So it's actually our last full in studio show for the foreseeable future. So I thought, you know what, let's have some fun with it and blow it up a bit. And we have some great guests coming in. So check out that if you're interested over on our channel on YouTube here. You can follow us and subscribe there. So Donnell says, since the release of the Stadium Series jersey, Max, I'm going to let you take over here. They're both average jerseys, like how the Lightning did the word bolts, but the Predator Stadium Series jerseys, like the color, I like the colors, but Smashville, really? Max?
Yeah, and Donnell, you know what? When it comes to speaking to it here, anyways, I'm going to try not to get off on a tangent here. Clark knows my feelings very well towards these jerseys. To be honest, starting with Tampa Bay, the forefront of the question. You know what? I really like what they did with it. It's crisp, it's clean. It's something that they've kind of done similar in the past. That's maybe where I'll knock it a little bit, is they didn't really go anywhere original. I believe they've got that kind of the inverse of it with a deep navy, or sorry, the royal blue, as it were. From a couple of years ago. So it's a fresh take on it. It's going to look really good outdoors, like a crisp white with that blue. It'll really pop. But when it comes to the Preds jerseys, oh man, it had all the makings of being excellent. When they put the tees out a couple of days before they released it, everybody was very excited about the navy base of the jersey, not the black base of the jersey, Clark. But the navy, as everybody was really excited as it returned to the fold after a long absence of having something that had a base navy set for the Preds. So to see what they did with it, and really all they did was they overcooked the thing. They really did. They have a nice little guitar pick logo, something that's really been kind of iconicized on the shoulders of their jerseys, very much like this guy right here. It's got the TriStar guitar pick logo that everybody that it kind of has a good idea of when you talk about Nashville. And then they've got this logo, the NP, which I really love personally, featured at the very bottom. But the problem is it's not the main attraction of the jersey. They really muddied it up with the Smashville. And I get the historical nod of the poster print fonts. I understand that. But really, I don't. When it comes to a jersey, if you needed to have that in there, you could have put it on the inner collar. You could have maybe done something on the shoulders that was unique with it. You could have put Smash on one shoulder and Ville on the other. I don't know. They're just, as somebody with a little bit of graphic design experience, it was a letdown. Let's just say I won't be purchasing the jersey, but it had a lot of really good base elements to it where the potential was there. But yeah, it's a tough one. I certainly won't be purchasing it though, unfortunately.
I'm looking at their jerseys right now. So the guitar pick that's on the middle of their jersey is already their shoulder patch. I didn't realize that was the case. So that's the case, huh?
Yeah. So this one right here, Clark.
Yeah. So the guitar pick, they moved that from the shoulder to the chest, to
the front of the jersey. But
I think we both agree that if they would have made that
off the post, that was close. That was close.
If they would have,
it'd be a real shame for the Preds to be down after this period. They've played really good. This is a prototypical best case scenario. First period on the road, you're controlling play, everything's looking good. That would have really sucked if that went in. So hopefully you can kill this off.
I agree.
Sorry to cut you off there, Clark.
But no, yes. I was just going to say, like, if they put that guitar pick as like the real centerpiece of the jersey, another tip in front of the net here, I think it would have been nice and pretty. I would have loved to see them get creative with the Smashville thing, but not, the way they did it just kind of throws a lot of people off. And it's a super niche reference, I think, for what it is. And I know I guess that's kind of the point, but I don't know.
Yeah, with that, the hatch print font and with the different sizings and the smushings of the letters. I don't know. I get it. Like the whole Smashville thing. It's a cool identity. It's a city edition jersey. When you really look at the NBA and how, I guess, what's the best way to say it? How in deep they go with some of those designs when it comes to, like, again, it's if you're from there, you get it. Like, this is a cool nod to the town. But when it comes to a one-game jersey, I don't know, man. To me, it had the opportunity to be one that could have been a long-standing, good selling jersey that they maybe could have potentially turned into a third. I don't know. This is just one where I think the jersey sales will speak for themselves. I haven't seen many in the stadium in the cutting clips during some home games since they released it. So
right.
let's just say the sales will speak for themselves.
I mean, you were pretty pumped when you saw the preview.
Oh, the tease
Um,
was great.
the tease was great, and I'm wondering if locally it won't do really well. I'm just wondering about nationally if some
Yeah,
people
I
outside
don't
of
know. Based on Twitter and at least some of the people that I follow that at least that I know are from there, the opinion is all pretty much the same. It's not good.
okay,
It's one of those ones where you look at it and like, maybe it grows on you in a few weeks. It's not growing on me, and it certainly won't be hitting my checkout card anytime soon. That's for sure.
understandable. Put it on your wish list. Maybe somebody will get it for you.
No, my non-wish list, Clark. You weren't listening again.
No, I was listening. I'm saying throw it on your wish list, and maybe somebody will randomly get it for you, and then you don't have to pay for it.
Oh, even still, I just don't want it. It's
I
it's
just don't
it's
want
not
to.
it's not a jersey that I'm ever gonna wear, unfortunately.
That's fair. It's kind of like me in the Toronto St. Pat's jerseys. I just can't bring myself to wear a
Yeah,
white and
that's right.
green.
Even when
I
they
can't
are on
do
for a hell of a deal. Didn't I send you one where it was like $42 or something?
Yeah, it was even. I think it was maybe even
Yeah.
less. It might have been 29 or
And that
39.
one is a legit historical nod to the team.
Yeah, and I just can't seem to bring myself to. Oh, Roman Yossi almost tapped that one in his own net there.
That's okay.
Uh,
UC was there to back him up, bail
yeah,
him out.
UC's good. He's right there. I can't bring myself to get a white and green Leafs jersey for whatever reason. Not for me. They aren't bad. I don't even hate them. I just can't. I just don't want to buy one. I'm kind of with you on that. Let's get okay. Here we go. Donnell has another question. Hey, Clark and Max, do you guys have the reverse retro jerseys of your team, Predators and Leafs, or not? I hated the Leafs one, so I did not buy that. To me, the gray on the Leafs jersey, it was a nod to one of the worst times in Leafs history, one of the worst eras in Leafs history, where they had white sleeves and a blue and a crappy logo, and they did an ode to it, but then they made the white sleeves gray, and that made it even worse. So no, I hated the jersey, so I was not going to buy it. Max, you don't have one, do you? You were thinking about one? You do have one.
Nope,
Hold
I
on.
do not. I don't have the reverse retro jersey of the Preds. It was one that was passable for me. I didn't mind when they wore it. I actually really liked the logo, what they did with the Predator head in terms of the color set. It was mostly a navy and white base. It's kind of what I was hoping they would go with for these Stadium Series jerseys. But again, you've already done it. I get it. You got to try something a little bit different. But yeah, I liked it. I didn't love it. And as far as jersey budgets go, again, as we talked about earlier, Donnell, I don't get a ton of jerseys, but when I do, I like to spring for them. So my
Right.
latest purchase, one that I'm not wearing tonight because I'm again not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious. The last time we were on a live stream and I wore my bright white, beautiful Pekka Rinne, the one that he scored in Chicago jersey on a live stream, the Preds got shut out 3-0. So I didn't dig that one out of the closet. We won't be displaying it tonight, but that's the last one that I purchased is just that nice iconic Pekka Rinne one that I'll have forever. Obviously, everybody knows in this league how rare it is to have players start and finish their careers in one city. Pekka Rinne was just an absolute legend on and off the ice in Nashville, and that was where I really wanted to devote my next purchase to in terms of jerseys. So it's the one the boys are wearing tonight. It's got Rinne 35 emblazoned on the back in the nice Adidas. But yeah, I didn't go for the reverse retro. I think again, maybe if it's something on sale. But the other thing was too, though, it's tough when it's the one season ones for me. If it's something that I'm not ever going to see the team in again, I find a bit of a tough time investing in it. So
I hear
that's
you.
again maybe why I have a bit of a really bold, not favorable take on the Stadium Series jerseys. But for a one game event, it's really tough for me if it's something that the boys aren't going to wear terribly often.
I don't know if you heard this, but Ava's comment here, MSG just died for a sec. On my feed, it just went straight up like computer error from the 90s style.
I told you, man. You should have been on Bally Sports One here with the
Valley
Preds.
Sports.
Everything's better. Everything's better on Bally.
Yeah, absolutely. Um,
Oh, Roman
everyone,
Yossi looking good. Oh, he almost inside outed Lafreniere there.
everyone's having a good time in the chat. Keep the chat going all night long, everybody. The Myatt family who's checking in over on TikTok popped over here on YouTube for a minute. But on TikTok, they said, hey, we're back over on TikTok. The issue is that on YouTube, it's just the big score screen, and you guys are the size of my finger. Just some insights. So here's the thing. I can do this, and we can just chat. So hey, we're big again over on YouTube. So we are into the intermission here. A
Now
solid
the
back
pictures
and
of us are
forth.
as big as our mouths.
Yeah, exactly. Solid back and forth period there. Both teams kind of
What are you
getting
talking about? The Preds dominated that period. Are you kidding me?
both
Come
teams
on.
each got one power play. They each got some
Easy
offensive
pandering,
zone time.
Panda.
Hey, I'm trying to keep it even here.
The
I'm
Rangers'
not
best
just.
chances came on their power play. Don't sugarcoat this. The Preds are looking
You're
really
right.
good.
I was gonna say that if you would have let me finish my intermission.
You
for
weren't saying
example.
that.
Uh-huh.
I've watched games with you. You weren't saying that.
Okay, fair enough. Either way, the Rangers came on strong at the end, but the Predators controlled most of the period, is what I was going to say. And then you said, hey, never mind, I'm going to break up your entire thing.
And they're white
Either
and
way,
black trim. Yeah.
black trim, exactly.
You're
Either
not going to
way,
live that one down for a while.
yeah, probably not. That's fine. I deserve that.
Yes.
But I would say the Predators did have a nice period there, Max.
It's a good road period. Good road period, as the boys say.
Absolutely. And we will get to some more Rangers talk later into the second period, as we're probably going to bring our guest in, Ava. Ava, I've got to send you the link, I guess. That's step number one. But why don't we take a little bit of a break here, Max? We're going to hit the intermissions, so to speak. We'll come back. We'll do a little intermission breakdown, and then we'll get to the second period and bring in Ava for a chat. How about that?
Sounds great.
All right, we'll see you. I don't know how long these intermissions are, so we'll see how long this break is.
Minutes. Come on. Have you ever watched hockey before?
Jeez.
Jeez.
Just be ready for this to come back at any time.
Alrighty.
All right. All right. I was totally ready for that. I like how it kind of fades back into the
That was
show.
pretty good. It's good stuff. It's good quality.
I was just chatting with my TikTok viewers. Ava's hanging out on both sides now. She's commenting everywhere. So Ava's single-handedly keeping us pushing up the engagement numbers here. Either way, Ava, let me send you the info here right away, and we can get Ava coming in sooner than later. But Max, give me your thoughts, I guess, on the first period. We'll wrap that up. From a Predator standpoint, from a game standpoint in general, what do you think about the first period tonight?
Yeah, as Willie Donich and Chris Mason are breaking it down here, overall, I thought it was a really strong period for the Predators. Again, not super biased, just a little biased. That's exactly the kind of period you want to play on the road, right? It's come out with a good jump, have some good chances. Georgiev stood really tall for the Rangers. I think that was easily their brightest spot. But the thing that makes you nervous is as the games go along here, right? We started to see at the end of the period, the Zibanejads, the Panarins, they really start to show their skill off, and they're just getting warmed up. So the Preds are going to have to be on their toes. They're going to have to find a way to bury one early here in the second, because as the game goes along here, this might be one where I've got a bit of a spider sense about me, that the skill may overtake the will a little bit here when it comes to the grittiness of the Preds lineup that they're featuring tonight.
Absolutely. They're interviewing Julien Gauthier on the broadcast here on MSG.
No, they're interviewing Nick Cousins on the right broadcast.
Oh, your boy, Nick Cousins.
My boy, Nick Cousins. Sorry, Nick. I'm just kidding. If you want to go score on the power play, go right ahead. You go do that, please.
He was really good in junior.
Yeah, great in junior. He's a solid NHL player. I have no problem with Nick Cousins. It's just as a tale as old as time when the Predators haven't had a 70+ point score since 2008, JP Dumont.
Ooh, I
You
love
don't
JP Dumont.
Oh, love JP Dumont, but you don't want to see Nick Cousins being featured on your second power play unit. I think you'd rather see again just a little bit more skill, a little bit more depth in the lineup,
Dumont.
so
Oh,
that
love
he
JP
doesn't have to
Dumont.
be the guy out there. But
Yeah, I hear you.
regardless, solid NHL player, no problem with the guy whatsoever.
I hear you. So one thing that I wanted to talk about throughout the night was goaltending. You mentioned Pecorine earlier. Obviously, moving on, UC Saros had a great year last year. Now he's coming this year as kind of the guy. David Riddick got signed in the offseason, of course. Former Leaf legend, you might
Big save,
say.
Dave. He's been huge as UC was out this week.
Well,
He
that's what I was
he
gonna
got a
get
couple
to.
of wins for the boys.
How has the breakdown between the two goalies been this year? And what would you say about the Predators goaltending? I'm sure it seems to me like it's won them a few games.
Absolutely no. When it comes to the Predators net, it is firmly UC Saros. As you mentioned his numbers earlier, he's elite. He's a guy that obviously got some Vezina votes last year, even a couple of Hart votes, even though they were a little bit further down the list. But he truly was instrumental in the Predators even having a chance at making the playoffs and pushing the Carolina Hurricanes to 6 games. He was the guy coming up with multiple 50+ save performances. At 26 years old, he's a guy that's just been kind of groomed for this spot. Mentioned Pecorine, who is maybe a fringe Hall of Famer potentially when it comes to the final chapter that'll be written in his illustrious career. But as UC Saros and him were both Finnish countrymen, there was really a special kind of bond. It was as the net was slowly transitioning away from Pekka in about the 2019 season is when the Predators really started to see the shift of, okay, UC Saros is going to be the next guy. We're not going to hold on to Pecorine forever. Pekka really took that mentorship mantle and really said, I'm going to do what's best for the Nashville Predators here, and I'm going to make sure that this kid is every bit as good as I am. And he's been that through the first 4 years of his career. He's been with the Predators since he was like 21, 22. And as many people know, it takes a special kind of goaltender to actually be up before the age of 22, 23. And it's going to be a really, they signed him to an extension in the offseason for 4 years, as a lot of people are looking for the bridge from Askarov to Saros, vice versa, whatever it may be. But UC's my guy, man. He could be here as long as he wants. For a guy who's very, very short in stature, his game is huge. And it's one of those things where let's just say this. He'll be the next guy that I'm purchasing a jersey of from the Nashville Predators. He's had that big of an impact on at least this generation of the team. Big save, Dave. Hey, you know what? Good guy, good pickup. But he is going to be exactly what he needs to be, and that is the backup goaltender that plays maybe 20 games this year. It's UC's net, and he's going to be having one of the heaviest workloads in the entire league.
I'm just realizing that I can pull up game stats. So let's do that. Shots on goal so far, 13-6 for Nashville. Not bad.
Yeah, remember when you said that it was a nice even period?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Rangers came on late is all I meant.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Rangers are leading in block shots, but that's what happens when you have more shots against you. As we mentioned earlier, they each got 1 penalty, each got 2 penalty minutes. The penalty kill, both 100%. Hits, look at the Predators leading the way in hits, 20-8. A little bit of an edge on the faceoff circle, and the Rangers are giving it away like crazy tonight. 7 giveaways for the Rangers to the Nashville Predators, 1. Not bad. So like I said, the Predators dominated that first period. I don't know what anyone else is saying. Your boy Alexander Carrier, looks like he is it Alexander? Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Alexander Carrier. Yeah.
Like he was amongst the team leaders in ice time. This is an interesting it's every player from both teams mixed into one
graphic. Yep.
So there you go. I don't know if can we sort? Ooh, we can sort. Jacob Trouba, my boy. Jacob Trouba, his face dawns my wall at the moment. Him and Adam Fox led the way with your boy Matthias Ekholm and Alex Carrier behind him. Mikael Granlund way up there in ice time tonight as well.
He's up there every time or every night in ice time.
Oh, I guess you can
He's
split.
Kind of a stud.
See, that would make sense if I split the teams, but I didn't.
There you go.
So there you go. Lineups that we noticed that was already out of date, so we're not going to use the lineup there. Let's have another look at the standings here in the Western Conference. The Minnesota Wild lead the way in the West. I am a little surprised, I must admit. While the Flames have been red hot, the Ducks, of all teams, the Ducks are third in the West.
Clark, does something jump out to you about those standings?
Is it wrong?
Oh, no, it's just broken down very, very strangely. Like you see 12 wins, 4 wins in overtime, 1 loss in overtime, and 10 losses instead of like 16, 10, and 1.
Right, the Ducks.
I was like, wait, the Predators have more than 12 wins in overtime. Okay, putting the pieces together.
They're not 12, 4, 1, and 10. They're
no.
It's not that way.
I was going to say this isn't European
16,
soccer.
Yeah, they're 16, 10, and 1.
Right.
That is really odd, actually, now that you mention it.
Yeah, I can't get it out of my brain.
The Oilers, take a look at the L's by the Oilers. They've lost the last 5 games that they've played. The Jets have
Some were saying the depth would be an issue in Edmonton.
Weird. Jets-centric's calling me out over on TikTok. Alyssa, is that you? She says, why aren't you watching the Bomber game? It's actually the Grey Cup. The Bombers just happen to be in it. But because I'm trying something new. We got the Hockey Podcast Network over on YouTube. Me and my buddy Max are live streaming the Predators-Rangers game for them. So it just happened to be the same time and day as the Grey Cup here in Canada, and that's just where we're at. As we scroll down, we see that the Arizona Coyotes are sitting at the bottom with only 12 points, Max. Not ideal.
No pain, no shame.
Their record is 3-2, 2-20. That just sounds weird to say. They're 5-20-2. That's their record.
We knew it would be bad in Arizona. Did we think it'd be this bad? Did we honestly think it'd be this catastrophically awful?
I'm gonna say yeah. I think I did. Like Andrew Ladd is their first line left winger, more or less. Like that's not a recipe for success in this era.
No, I get that, but like 5 wins?
Yeah.
Like just I don't know. I just didn't
3 regulation wins. 3.
Yeah. No, not good times in Arizona. But hey, at least they paid their taxes and they're going to be in their building for a bit. So that's good.
No problem. There's no problem in Arizona.
No, there's no issues. Everything is on fire meme. Just screams Arizona Coyotes.
As we scroll down to the east, we see Florida, Washington, and Toronto are all tied for first place in the NHL, with Carolina and New York literally right behind them, and Tampa Bay right there as well. Tampa Bay's been looking good.
Remember when you said Carolina was going to miss the playoffs? That was fun.
Nope, I didn't say that. Didn't happen. Pittsburgh is one of those teams where I'm very curious. They've won their last 4 games, Max, but they're a team that before that winning streak was quite questionable as to whether or not they would make a playoff push or not.
Yeah.
They have those vets on their team, Malkin and Letang, of course, legends in the league, and they are on their last year of their deals. They don't have extensions yet. So
Malkin played a game yet this year? Or he's still coming back from his knee injury.
Hasn't come back quite yet. He's getting there. He's real close, but not quite yet. Letang has played, obviously. Crosby's there. He's under contract for a bit. But with Malkin and Letang, those are 2 big cornerstones of that franchise, and they're both free agents at the end of this year. So something to keep your eye on. If they start losing again, I don't know. Those guys might not be Penguins by the trade deadline. So we'll have to take a look at that. And then as we scroll all the way down, yikes, Montreal, the Islanders, and then a couple teams I'm not totally surprised that are down there, Buffalo and Ottawa. Montreal, obviously the disappointment of the Eastern Conference, along with the Islanders. I would say the Islanders to me are more disappointing than Montreal. With Montreal, I mean, they made the Stanley Cup run, yes, but also Carey Price, Shea Weber, multiple other injuries. They've fired, everybody under the sun almost at this point. So I'm not as surprised at all, but New York shocks me that they are this bad this year.
We've talked about it though too, right? Like they've gone through the COVID bug. They've actually had a postponement in their schedule that had gotten that bad. They moved into a new building. You'd think that would maybe be a bit of a rejuvenating factor or a galvanizing factor to move into a new state-of-the-art arena. It just hasn't panned out well so far, right? Dealing with injuries, dealing with COVID. It's something that we saw can cripple a team as we did with the Vancouver Canucks last year. Ottawa's obviously gone through it as well too. It's just, one of those things where it's, again, I still maintain it. Even at this point in the season, with them have only played 23 games on their schedule. They've still got a little time to turn it around. And if any team can do it, I think it's a Barry Trotz-led Islanders team. They just got to get a little healthier. They got to get a little bit more luck on the injury side of things, and they got to start playing better in their new home rink. I mean, ultimately, that's what it is. But if there's any team that can kind of turn it around and find a way to maybe get themselves back in the thick of the playoff race, I do believe it's the New York Islanders.
Yeah, if any of the teams at the bottom there are going to do it, it's the Islanders, 100%.
Without a doubt.
Now, one thing, sorry if I missed this in your speech there, but one thing I have heard is that Lou Lamoriello has said, if we're not going to be good, I'm not going to go out and make a bunch of additions to this team. So they have to prove to Lou Lamoriello that they're going to be good enough for them to do anything. I think they're in a great position, Max, to go out and maybe add a piece or two by the end of the season. But again, it's going to be whether or not they're deserving of it in Lou Lamoriello's eyes. So that's going to be really one of those things to keep an eye on. As we look at the top scorers in the league, I'm going to give you one guess as to who stands out to me in this list.
Nazem Kadri. I don't even have to look at the list. Sorry, I'm on Cap Friendly right now.
Yeah, Nazem Kadri. I cannot believe he's fourth in the league in scoring overall right now. 11 goals, 23 assists. A little crazy to me, but as we scroll down, you see kind of a familiar list of superstars across the league. Nobody really surprises me as we scroll down here. Timo Meier is having a great year for San Jose. That would be if San Jose is looking to rebuild and obtain a couple of really nice assets. Timo Meier is playing himself into a really good trade chip at the moment.
See, and the thing about the Sharks, though, right, is if we look at the standings, it's kind of hard to say that they're out of anything at this moment, though, too, right? It's going to be very interesting to see how the Sharks play because their season last year was so disastrously horrible. But in the Pacific Division, I mean, they got a chance to make a bit of a run if they want. They've got the personnel. It's a matter of are they really this team? Or are they what we saw last year, right? So I mean, it's again a little bit too early maybe to fold up shop in San Jose. There's still a chance at it for them. They're certainly not out of it yet, but
they're tied for 8. Exactly. So I mean, could happen. But it is an interesting one. Timo Meier having a great start. So again, if it starts to falter a little bit in San Jose, I know that there's a few guys they'd probably want to start dumping off. But Timo Meier probably, with his contract and his age, probably brings back a really pretty penny in terms of a trade return. Keep an eye out for that. As does
Thomas Hertl. Yep.
Thomas Hertl's another one, but I think he's a free agent after this year, whereas Myers, I think, under contract for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind when
2 years, $6 million left. Sorry, one more year after this year.
Okay, so 2 years. Yeah. So that's understandable, but even then, it's not a rental. You get
and he's still an RFA at the expiration of that contract.
Exactly.
Wow.
So that's more value.
Wow.
Just a quick shout out. I've had this comment up now for a couple minutes, but the Beer Sports Whatever podcast. Great stream, guys. You are new to the channel. Subscribed last week. Good stuff. Yes, this is our first live stream here on the Hockey Podcast Network. Super pumped to be a part of it. So thank you guys for coming in and hanging out. We got the game coming back on in a few minutes here. And I know Ava is going to jump on shortly. So we're going to have our special guest, Ava, NHL Ava. Oh, they're speaking of the devil. I just heard her little beep and she's going to pop in right away. Puck drop is just mere moments away. One more comment here. The City Life Project. Glad to have you guys part of the channel. This is Isha. Hey, Isha, how's it going? Glad to have you checking in. Excited to be here. Joe.
Very excited.
Joe Fuller says, hey, Clark and Max. Hey, Joe. How's it going, Joe? Ava, I see you in the background there. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to go. She's ready to go. All right. Puck drop's coming in. Let's bring in our guest here. NHL Ava. What's going on, Ava?
It's going good. Could be better if the Rangers would like to get shots, but
yeah, how about that? I was saying to Max earlier that
it was not an even period, Clark. I apologize.
Thank you, Ava.
They came on strong at the end, and in my brain, it's like, oh yeah, they're having a decent game so far. But
ironically enough, that's usually what happens with the Rangers in first periods. They have a really slow start, and then like towards right at the end, like the last 5 minutes, they start getting shots.
Yeah, starting on time seems to be an issue for some teams around the league. Yeah. As a Leafs fan, that's kind of been our thing the last few years. So I'm totally aware of starting on time.
And finishing ever. That's your theme.
Ever. Ever. So Ava, I guess give us your breakdown of the first period and kind of what went on in your eyes, because I know you're tuning in and you're watching. I mean,
definitely think they could have played better. But again, that's become a common theme with us this year is meh first periods and really good second periods. So I'm hoping that trend continues. And we can get something going. I do want to add that Nils Lundqvist is also not playing today.
Oh, yeah, we didn't see that one.
Libor Hayek is in instead. Oh,
Now, Ava, this jersey right here that's behind me on the wall, that's that maroon Regina Pats jersey. Libor Hayek used to wear that jersey back in the day, so he's my boy.
Libor Hayek. My brother just came in. Jack, can I help you?
How's it going?
Can you say hi?
Welcome to the Hockey Podcast Network. What
Hi.
are your thoughts on the first period?
Jack, who's your favorite hockey player?
Coco.
Yes.
Good
Nice.
pick.
Yeah, solid pick.
No, so I think that they definitely just need to work on generating offensive chances and stop passing the puck so much, which is something that they love to do.
Too many playmakers, not enough shooters, as they say.
Yes, pretty much. We're such a top-heavy team. That's the thing. Our top six so far, I mean, other than Dryden Hunt, is pretty set. I could definitely see them bumping Dryden Hunt down, but they're not going to want to mess with the third line right now, which has been Laff, Hedel, and Gauthier. And I just think they need to stop passing the puck, because that Mika chance where he was with Kako, he added an extra pass, and I think if he would have just shot that, it had way more of a chance of going in the net.
Absolutely. We were talking about that one, Nick Cousins with the breakup on that one, and then Max went into a rant about Nick Cousins being on the second power play unit for the Predators, and that was.
You want to talk about a top-heavy team, Ava?
Yeah, half your top is out tonight, which doesn't help either.
That's true.
I'm definitely ahead of you guys, so.
Oh, really?
Just
I
a little bit.
I just had
So you're about to see something, and my brother is reacting.
Oh, really? We're that far behind. Interesting. Okay.
I think that spells bad things for me.
Well, it's in the Rangers' end right now.
Oh, wait, look at that. Oh, Phil Tomasino, ladies and gentlemen.
My
welcome.
brother just said, "Oh no, the white team scored."
Good stuff. Wow,
Yeah,
there's a little
interesting.
shot.
I'm the
Phil.
last one to see that one, so that's interesting. That I didn't realize we were going to be that far behind.
Yeah,
So,
George
Ava,
has little screens there.
you're in New York, Ava, so you must be watching Bright on TV.
Yeah,
She's
right,
got the
right.
Prime Network. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow,
we're
what a
both watching on
shot.
different
Oh,
streams,
boy.
but-
That was a nice little goal.
That was a little bit. George got a little screens there, I think. That's not his brightest moment. It wasn't by Trouba, at least, which is good.
That's good. That's good. My boy Jacob Trouba, as he adorns
yes.
my wall.
Of course.
Was that Philip Forsberg on the pass there, Max?
That was
Nine
Philip
to Philip.
Forsberg on the pass, yes, and noted in the
fantasy
intermission.
points.
Alex,
I got the fantasy points on that.
Philip Forsberg's been doing a lot for some people in fantasy lately with that 4-goal game last week.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
funny
his
to say
return
that,
to the
Max,
lineup has been welcome.
because the girl below you on the broadcast here, I offered her a trade like a month ago. Sat in my pending trade box for like 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden, the night that Forsberg goes off for 4 goals, I see you've just made a trade with Ava, and I'm like, what? What did I even offer her? I didn't even remember.
That's called picking your spots. It's a hell of
Yeah.
a move, Ava. That's
Now,
real smart. Yeah.
I got Steven Stamkos out of the trade, so not a terrible overall trade with the way Stamkos been playing,
Reinhardt's been
but-
good for me too, though. So
Yeah, you got Reinhardt in the deal too, right?
I will say something about Georgiev here, where it's not okay. I think Rangers fans themselves are way too hard on Georgiev. He's not a bad goalie. He's just, I don't think he's a good backup. What's up? I
Darnell
just
says,
don't.
what's up, Ava?
I just don't think he's a good backup. I think he's 100% a goalie that needs to play consistently, and he really, of course, when you're on a team where your starter is Igor Shesterkin, you're not going to be playing very consistently. And another thing that bothers me about Georgiev, he has been getting better at playing the puck, which is good, and I think that's a result of Igor. They're always working together at practice, but I don't like the way he tracks the puck, because he commits too far to one side, like he's a soccer goalie. Like, he commits way too far to one side to the point where he doesn't plant his skate hard enough to the point where he can get over. I don't know if you guys saw a quote. I don't remember who the quote was from, but it was like a coach of another team or like a goalie coach or something. I don't know. And they said, Shesterkin's like a hovercraft on ice. Because he is. It's just amazing how smoothly he glides across the ice and across the crease.
And it helps when you're like uber athletic too. Like,
Yeah.
one of the best athletes in the sport. Him and UC Saros are probably right near the top in terms of goaltender
Oh,
athleticism.
definitely.
So Max, I'll give you that one there, UC Saros.
Hey man,
Oh,
UC Saros has been slept on for far too long. I'm just
I
saying,
will say that. I agree 100%.
yeah, it's been a very very nice rise to see him come to notoriety with a lot of hockey fans. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Ava, I want to bring this up to you because we've kind of chatted about it a little bit in group chats and stuff in the past, but the Rangers were one of the most active teams in the offseason this past year, obviously making a big cultural shift to their team, trading away Bushnevich and, going away from some skill in order to bring in some size and physicality. Early on this year, obviously the results are pretty good. I mean, you're fifth in the Eastern
Yeah, I
Conference.
mean, it could be worse.
But how are you feeling about this year? Because I think there's probably a little bit of pros and cons to what happened in the offseason. So give me your breakdown of that so far.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I think the Bushnevich trade was the biggest thing and the thing that people made the biggest deals about because we got so little in return. Blay and I think it was a second round pick. And do I love the trade right now? No, but I think we saw it happen with Derek Brassard, and I'd rather trade a guy a year early than a year late. Because I remember everyone was so upset when Derek Brassard was traded for this rando named Mika Zibanejad.
That didn't work out.
I think you won that trade, Ava. Zero question.
And obviously Brassard was good his first year there, and then he went on, he went downhill because he was getting older. And not that Bushnevich is particularly old, but I don't know. I think that they were going to have to give up a guy like that for multiple reasons. One of them being salary. He was going to be asking for too much. And I think the way Drury looked at it was, I think Drury wanted Blay. That was someone he definitely wanted to add to this team. And it's unfortunate the way this has all turned out because he was having a really good season up until, the unfortunate PK Subban incident. And, he had a good preseason too. He's got potential, and it's just a shame we're not going to get to see it this year. And I do think that unless there's something wrong with the knee really, really bad, they're going to go and re-sign him. I think Drury still wants to experiment with that. And I'm really happy with Ryan Reeves, which is strange. I don't think a lot of people were expecting Ryan Reeves to have as much of an impact as he has. Not only just, the gritty aspect. Ryan Reeves only has one fight as a Ranger right now, and it was against a rookie or something on Montreal that just decided to challenge him, and Reeves kind of laughed in his face.
Right. Yes, I remember that. Wasn't that Pizzetta?
Yeah, it was Pizzetta.
Yeah.
And that was just a weird situation, but, he got his first fight out of the way. But I don't know if you guys have seen some of the passes he's been making, but my God, he has some nice hands. Like, he's making passes. Like, if you told me that was Ryan Reeves, I would have laughed at you. Because what?
That family is gifted, man. They're athletic as heck in that family. His brother plays in the CFL. His dad was a CFL legend, Willard Reeves. His dad, it was a big running back in the CFL. So they've got some athleticism over there. Don't sleep on the Reeves.
And I think a lot of Rangers fans, especially, I know because I talked to a bunch of people when this happened. There were very mixed reactions. A lot of people thinking that, we gave up too much, giving up a third round pick for him. And he's just, all he's going to do is take stupid penalties. Honestly, I can count on one hand the amount of stupid penalties Reeves has taken thus far as a Ranger. It's not many. Yeah. But he's inflicting this persona upon other players. Lafreniere fought Pajot. He would not have done that last year. He was not fighting JG Pajot. Fox is getting involved in scrums. There's different guys that are stepping up in the aspect because they know they have guys that will back them up. And Ryan Reeves, just the offense is, of course, a plus. I don't think anyone really expects their fourth line to produce. Our fourth line right now is Reeves, Rooney, and Goudreau. Obviously, I would like Goudreau to be producing more because of that contract, but I'll take what we can get right now. Fourth line has been really, really solid this year, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing. And I think a lot of people thought we went after too much grit, but I think it's working out clearly because it's not only just the players that we added, but it's inflicting it upon the players we already had.
So Ava, I guess to sum up what you're saying, right? Like Ryan Reeves is he creates accountability for the opposition where there's maybe two guys in the league that can do that. It's amazing, right? It's like you said, when you've got your skill guys that are willing to drop the mitts, because if anything goes a little offside, you know that you got big number 75 hopping over the boards to create that accountability.
Exactly.
Now, my question to you is, I want you to put your Chris Drury hat on here for me, because this is a very exciting time to be a Rangers fan, obviously, but when it's an exciting time, obviously come huge pay raises for your ultra talented roster. So I'm looking at guys like Adam Fox, who's got a $9 million raise due next year, nearly $9 million. You've got Mika Zibanejad, who's obviously going to be due a little over a $3 million bump from what he's currently making. Now, does that spell the end for Ryan Strome, or is there a couple of other people that you see on the roster that are maybe going to be making their way out this year or potentially in the offseason in order to make the cap work, especially only knowing that we're getting a $1 million bump next year?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think they're going to want to get rid of Strome for a multitude of reasons. Obviously, he works really, really, really well with Panarin. But Panarin also was talking to the media recently, and he was saying, "Oh, well, you guys act like I'm this big star, and you're completely ignoring Stromer here. He's the one setting me up, and I'm the one setting him up. He's just as much a part of that line as I am, and he deserves all the amount of respect." He goes, and I think he said, "You guys are acting like he's a shit player." And he said that, and it was really funny. But I think Ryan Strome is going to be one of those guys they want to keep. And a little fun fact for you is that between Trouba, Zibanejad, Kreider, Shesterkin, and Fox, that is, I think it's over 50% of our cap.
Yeah.
Which is, we could be in a better cap situation, but the good thing I think is that, Capo Caco needs to be re-signed after this year, I believe, which he's not playing. He's not going to get Jack Hughes money. I'll put it that way. He's not. And I think even if we had the money to, he still wouldn't be getting Jack Hughes money.
No, I would love to see Capo Caco. I would love the Rangers to be able to get him on a bridge contract. We haven't seen a true bridge contract in a couple of years. I'm gonna say like 2 or 3 years at a under $3 million cap hit, even maybe 2-ish, because I don't think he's really shown enough in his career that he's deserved a whole lot more than that. So exactly. I'd love to see him. He's not worth nothing, but he just hasn't shown the Jack Hughes style of stuff, like you said. So I hope they don't overpay him, because you're Maple Leafs in yourself already with the top heavy contract. I'll say it. I'm not ashamed. But at the same time, I think the Rangers need to be a little smart with some of those young guys, because if they start overpaying them before they do anything in their careers, that's not great. Like, at least Max is going to make fun of me here, but at least with the Leafs, like Mitch Marner had like a 90-point season when he got his extension. So,
what do you do in the playoffs, Clark?
Hey, shush.
What?
Sorry, Max. I think you broke up there for a sec. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, geez. I Jake Gyllenhaal and Taylor Swifted, did I?
Yeah, you did. You broke up for a sec. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, goodness.
But yeah. Anyways, that's really interesting with the way that they're kind of structured. And again, what do you think if they're going forward? Like, Ava, put your GM hat on for a sec. Because we are getting close to the new year, which means we're getting close to the trade deadline. I'm going to put the two things together. What do you think the Rangers really need to kind of focus on if they were to make a move, or make a splash? What do you think that, not necessarily, you don't have to name players, but what do they need to add?
I honestly see, I'm kind of really in the middle here right now with making trades right now, because obviously this is a team that's going to hopefully make the playoffs. If they keep going the rate they're going, they're going to make the playoffs, which is exciting because it feels like it's been forever. It hasn't been that long, but it feels like it's been forever. And I think that's partially because last time Henrik Lundqvist was still our starter. And I don't know. I just feel like I wouldn't want to give up a whole lot right now, because this is a growing team and they're definitely making improvements, but this is not a Stanley Cup winning team right now. I wish it was, but it's not quite a Stanley Cup winning team right now. So I wouldn't want them going out and making too many moves, but I don't know what's going through Chris Drury's head, or really James Dolan's head, because James Dolan has been playing a puppeteer lately with the Rangers, and surprisingly, we're doing well.
Yeah. We were looking at the standings earlier, and I would say Nashville is a little bit more of a surprise to be a fifth place team in the West at the moment. But the Rangers being a fifth place team, they've come a long way from where they were a couple of years ago in terms of winning games. So I can't imagine many Ranger fans are upset with how this year has gone, but I also have a sense that there's a lot to work on with the team as well.
I think what I would rather personally is work with what we have right now, because a little statistic type thing. There's one Rangers fan on Twitter. His name's Statboy Steven, and he comes out with the most rare stats, like just completely random stats. But he was saying how, the past couple seasons, Mika Zibanejad doesn't really hit his stride until about the 32% mark, which is about where we are right now. And like the exact game is when he scored was last game. He scored after not scoring for 14 games. So it's really funny how that's working. And I think if we can get guys like Zibanejad to hit their stride, and we can keep Kreider, if Kreider can keep doing what he's doing, because he's been doing what he's doing well. I don't know. I just think I'd rather, because, everyone, they're like, okay, well, we could trade for DeBrusk. We could trade for, Max Philip Forsberg. We could trade for.
We've discussed that, actually, Clark and I have.
We have.
There's some Rangers fans want JT Miller back, which I'm going to be real. I do not. I don't think he would fit with this team right now. But honestly, a part of me is like, I don't really want to mess with the chemistry this team has right now. Everyone's playing so well together.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, Chris Kreider, like I got him in a big trade here earlier in the year, and I got Braden Point in the trade, and he's hurt. So Chris Kreider's literally been the best thing I got in that trade for a while. He's the Cy Young winner right now, 17 goals and 4 assists. Who needs to pass the puck? That's what the other guys are for. Yeah. Chris Kreider goes out and scores.
Chris Kreider doesn't even shoot the puck. He just deflects it in the net.
Doesn't matter how they go in. Just get it in. But you kind of mentioned it earlier, I think, top heavy. I'm looking at their stats. You can see it on the screen now. They got 4 guys with 20 points, and then everyone else is kind of – yeah, he's doing well. Good for him.
I'm very proud of him.
Since we made that bet, he's absolutely on fire, Ava, since we made the bet.
I think we should get the benefits from this.
I agree. He owes us part of his contract, I think. But it is a little top heavy, though. As you say, you'd probably want to see that evened out a little bit more.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, what do you Capo Caco and Alexis Lafreniere? What do you think about those two guys? I mean, they haven't been putting up as many points as you probably thought they would. Do they have it, or are they going to just turn into, middle of the road NHLers? What do they have it? Is it there?
I think out of the two, if I had to say one of them has it. Oh, thank you, Jack. If I had to say one of them has it right now, I'm saying Caco. I'm taking Caco. If you tell me I can only have one, I'm going with Caco. And that's because he plays a much more complete game than Alexis Lafreniere. Especially lately, I think we've seen even from his first season, Caco is so good with the puck. He's such a good defensive-minded forward. He just needs to work on that offense. And you know what? Now that he's playing with Kreider and Zibanejad, which was a new thing because he was playing really, really well with Panarin and Strome. They didn't want to split him up. And one day Gallant was like, all right, I'm going to switch it up. And it's ended up working out really well. So I think Caco specifically, he definitely has it. And I think he just needs to get over the hump. It's hard. I think it's especially hard for guys coming from other countries, like other than, the US and Canada, because, he's coming here from Finland. It was difficult for him. And especially because, his first 2 years of the league, he was living with Brendan Smith. And I think losing Brendan Smith, you kind of have that sense of, I don't know how I feel about this now, losing those connections. And I'm a firm believer in that connections off the ice are very much shown on the ice. It's very, very clear. And I think the problem with Caco is confidence. He just, once he gets going, he really gets going. He had a 5-game point streak this year.
Right.
And with Lafreniere, I mean, it's tough. And he's really putting Gallant in a tough position because he's been on every line, Lafreniere. He has been on every line, including the 4th line. That lasted all of 1 game. But he's on the 3rd line right now, and I think that line is playing really well. They're just not finishing. They're not, they don't have someone who's going to score, which is unfortunate. And that should be Philip Hedl right now, and it's really not. I think they have what it takes. I just think they need the confidence level to go up, and they need to get over their hump. So I would like to see more, but I'm not going to complain because right now, luckily, our top 6 is playing well, but that could change in the matter of a day. I don't know, because Lafreniere is iffy on me right now because again he's putting Gallant in a really tough position and it's noticeable which this annoyed me, but I was making a video and I needed a clip of Lafreniere fighting Pajot, so I went on YouTube and I found a clip, but it was of the Islanders broadcast because it was at UBS. I'm listening to Brendan Burke talk and he's saying, Lafreniere has been demoted to the 4th line at sometimes by head coach Gerard Gallant, and it seems he has embraced that role.
Oh.
And I was like, this is his first fight ever. Let's not pin the guy out to be a fighter. And it's always a benefit when you see guys like that, be willing to step up. Right now, I see Lafreniere becoming a Matthew Tkachuk type player, a Tkachuk type player. He's a very heavy hitter, especially this season. And I wouldn't be mad if he became, a Matthew Tkachuk. Not at all. And, I think we could, if he keeps going the way he's going, he could definitely be that type of player. And Capo Caco has been really, really good. It just doesn't show up on the scorecard, which is unfortunate.
So Ava, we talked about it too. Like you've mentioned Gerard Gallant a little bit, kind of throughout the segment here. Anyways, what do you see as the biggest differences between him and Dave Quinn? Obviously, that was probably maybe even underratedly the biggest change for the Rangers in the offseason. Is this night and day? Are you very, very happy with the direction that this is going in when it comes to Gerard Gallant and the direction he's got the team going?
I will say I hated David Quinn and I love Gerard Gallant. One thing about David Quinn was he messed with the young players' confidence, which is ironic because that was the whole reason he was brought here. But I think what that showed the organization and hopefully showed other teams is that a good college coach doesn't mean you're going to work well with young NHL players.
Right.
I think David Quinn is, just the epitome of a good college coach. He wasn't really good at the NHL level. Mm-hmm. And he basically, there was a thing going around where he would humiliate Capo Caco at practice and have him stay after and practice dumping and chasing. How do you practice dumping and chasing? It's literally in the name. And that was the thing with David Quinn. He wanted the dump and chase style game, which is not the type of game most of these players are. They don't play that game. And that's part of the reason we struggled. And I think Gerard Gallant, he talked about it. He's not someone to go in the locker room intermission and shred on guys that aren't playing the way that he wants them to. He's very much play how you want to play, see how it works. If it doesn't work, you have to be able to know that you have to correct yourself. You have to adjust the way you play. Mm-hmm. And absolutely. I think it's working really well because I'm seeing guys play a lot better. For example, Jacob Trouba, had to talk about him. He has really, really stepped up this year. Just as a little, just a little stat here. He had 12 points last season in 30-something games. He got hurt twice. 26 games into the season, or I guess 27 now, he has 14 points. Mm-hmm. And most of them have come in the past, 10 games. He's been playing really, really well, and I think that's partially because it feels more like it's a team, not a club.
Right.
It doesn't just feel like this is the New York Rangers and we're run by James Dolan and we're built to be robots. Mm-hmm. It feels like everyone is just so connected. And it's so refreshing to see as a fan. I can't even imagine how it is to see as a player. I mean, especially when you're a guy like Chris Kreider, who's been here since, Alain Vigneault. It's probably so refreshing because we went from Alain Vigneault, who was good, and then he kind of just stopped because he couldn't be carried by goaltending anymore.
Right.
And then we got David Quinn, and I was really excited for David Quinn when we got him, and then it just went downhill. And I think Gallant he has a different approach to coaching, and it's working a lot better for the team that we have. And he doesn't punish guys, for their little mistakes, which I remember one game last season, Kako took a penalty in like early in the second period and got benched until halfway through the third.
Mhm.
So
how do young players develop at that point, right? Yeah, when they're being held over the cattle prod for just a mistake that a lot of young players make, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think especially our defense has stepped up this year.
Mhm.
Our defense has been, and I always make this joke because Lundqvist is, occasionally on MSG networks now. I'm like, this dude is probably sitting in there watching the defense actually block shots and just saying, where was this energy when I was in net?
Right.
Because he had to carry that team on his back, and I think everyone knows that. The defense as a whole has just become so much better, and you could credit that to different things. Perhaps different players, leaving the organization, and I'm not going to name any names, but Tony D'Angelo. I think they just seem more. They just all seem more connected now, and it's really nice to see.
Yeah. So I guess Clark and I, it's kind of funny, Ava. I'm sure Clark has maybe mentioned the story once or twice. He likes to mention his stories a few times. Oh, he's listening. Good. Anyways,
I got you.
Our show obviously stemmed from our mutual love of Paul Kariya, and anybody that knows you knows that you are the Jacob Trouba fan.
I
So
am.
you have to give us the origin story of Jacob Trouba and how he became your one and only, maybe not only, but how he became your guy.
This is actually a fun story, and I've only told it a handful of times, so I'm actually really excited to tell it. So I did watch him a little bit when he was in Winnipeg. I like the way he played. I've always been a girl that loves heavy hitting players. I love the hard hitters. Now when we got him, I loved Neil Pionk. I loved him. But I came to terms. I was like, you know what? Jacob Trouba is a good defenseman, and Neil Pionk was never going to work under David Quinn's system. And I've said that to countless Winnipeg fans. He was never going to work under David Quinn's system, so they traded him and got Jacob Trouba. And then I wasn't a big fan of the contract. I'm still not the biggest fan of the contract, but he's starting to live up to it in at least a little bit. So the real origin is that I went to a game at Nassau Coliseum, and it was Ranger Islanders. It was in February, not that long before the shutdown. And it was the game where the infamous Trouba hit on Del Cole happened. Now, I remember that game so clearly because Georgiev gave up a goal with like 10 seconds left and they tied it. But it was such a fun game to be at, and the atmosphere was insane. And I remember watching just Del Cole go down. And I was like, oh my God. And then watching little Pajot try to go after Trouba, and then Trouba just, beat the crap out of him. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, yep, that's my guy. Like, that's it. It's settled. Because you know what? At that time, I was obviously a big Lundqvist girl. Still am a big Lundqvist girl. Gotta mention that. And it was ironic because we were all expecting Shesterkin to play that game. Oh my God, is Amy here? Hi, Amy.
Yeah, she said hey. She's just got one of the girls to bed, I think, so she was checking in.
So I think that, right, so I watched that happen. Oh, and there goes Trouba got someone. I remember just watching that and seeing, and I was like, you know what, that's it. He's my guy. And after that game was when everyone started calling him the Trouba train. And I was really confused because I was like, where did that come from? And it was about like a week later where I saw the video of the hit again. And it was on the Islanders broadcast. And Brendan Burke said, and he didn't see the Trouba train coming. And I was like, that makes sense now. Why I didn't understand it, because I was there, not listening to the broadcast.
Right.
But yeah, that was really the moment. And then I think it was the rest of the season, I kind of went on loving him. And then last year was really where it went uphill. And we're here now as the Jacob Trouba girl. And now the Rangers social media admin has dubbed me the Jacob Trouba girl. So, which I want to say that because she is actually my number one source of Rangers updates now, because I had tweeted that, a game against the Avalanche where we lost 7-3 because Adam Huska was in net and he had never played an NHL game before. They got home that morning, and I tweeted that they got home at 2 a.m. That's what I'd heard. I'd heard they gotten home at 2 a.m. because they were in Chicago the day before, and then they came home. My dad just texted me, Trouba train keeps on rolling.
There you go.
And I tweeted that, and because they got home at 2 a.m. and she texts me and she goes, 4 a.m. actually. I was like, 4 a.m. Most of them didn't get to their houses until 4 to 5 o'clock because they got back to the city at 3:30ish, and most of them don't live right by the Garden or anything. I know Panarin lives in Connecticut, so it was just a matter of I'm a firm believer of you shouldn't have back-to-backs if it's not at least in the same area of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Just doesn't seem like a good idea, flying from a different time zone back to New York and then having to play that day. I just thought the cards were stacked against us that day, and there was nothing more we really could have done there.
Sure, the Islanders felt that way about their 13-game road trip to start the year too.
Oh, there's a little Trouba chant going on at MSG.
Oh yeah, I got a nice shot there.
Love to see it.
From what I've heard, a lot of players live in Connecticut. It's kind of a hot spot. My brother lived there for a bit. My brother was a goalie in the American Hockey League, and it's kind of a hot spot because there's just a ton of teams in that area, especially in the American League. So if you're going to be a guy who's in the American League and you get traded or something like that happens, or you sign in the offseason, there's like 9 professional AHL teams in that area.
Chance of not having to move.
Yeah, you don't have to move. That's exactly it. So, and it's it's close to even like Hershey, for example. It's not that far off either in Pennsylvania. Like it's not that far. So there's a lot of teams in that area that makes it kind of a convenient area to live in. We got a comment here from Matt, who's tuning in. He's coming in over from my TikTok channel, Matt J. I might cover you up, Ava. Don't be offended. Good point about the coach aspect. It's very tough on a team when you don't have a coach that doesn't fit the team. So when you have a coach, that doesn't fit the team. Point in case with the Leafs when they had Coach Babcock, he wasn't there for the players, and he didn't adapt. I think is what he's trying to say. So it's something to think about because, by the end of the Babcock's tenure with the Leafs, it was just like he wouldn't change. He would be stubborn. He would do the same thing over and over again. And it was just getting to a point where I think the players were getting frustrated. So to your point earlier, Ava, about how, the coach's fit really makes a big difference.
I think Gallant has been the biggest difference and not really been viewed as the biggest difference. I think just the way he approaches the team, you see it in practice even. I know one of my favorite writers for the Rangers is Vince Mercogliano, and he's always posting on Twitter videos of the practice. The difference between Gallant and David Quinn is Gallant very much screamed a lot. Quinn, not Gallant. Quinn very much screamed a lot. And, Gallant has a very soothing voice. I will say that. And I just think it's just a different energy around the team right now. New coaching, different players, more leadership. With 6 alternate captains, you better have good leadership.
How about that?
That is a whole other conversation. I'm still not over that. And it looks like Mika Zibanejad is arguing with the ref about something. Cool.
Why not?
I've seen Gallant yell once in his time as a coach. And it was at Mika Zibanejad after the Lindgren goal with 0.4 seconds left. And I don't know, I think Zibanejad was like late getting to the play because he was arguing with the ref about a missed call. And Gallant was just over there on the bench, like, leave it alone. Shut up. But I definitely think the coach, it's the most underrated, influence in hockey. Not a lot of people talk about how important your coaching is.
Totally.
And I don't know, I think it wasn't that just that David Quinn wasn't a good coach. It was that he didn't seem nice. Like, just the way that he treated younger players in games specifically, because obviously we don't know what goes on in the locker room, and there's that whole debate, like, how dare I say that, because we don't know what goes on. But I don't know, I just feel like the way that Quinn handled himself as a coach and handled, guys like Capo Caco, and especially Alexis Lafreniere, because Alexis Lafreniere was on, like, the bottom 2 lines playing with, like, I don't even know who was on the bottom 2 lines last year. No one good, I'll tell you that much. And until like this 2 weeks left in the season where they're like, oh, well, maybe we should put him on the top line with Zibanejad and Kreider, and it ended up working out. So, it's just a matter of they have to the coach has to want the player, and like I'm not saying that Quinn didn't want Kakko to be good, but he didn't handle it like he wanted Kakko to be good.
Right. Jacob's been really wanting our opinion on this. So Ava, we'll ask you this, and then we'll let you go for the evening, and you can watch the third period in peace. But
and hopefully not lose my
Jacob
mind.
asks, tonight Vegas plays the Wild. Who you got, Vegas or the Wild? We got to answer Jacob. He's been asking a ton.
I'm going Minnesota. I got to root for my boy Zook.
See, I'm just going to put all his comments in here. So he knows. I'm seeing you. I'm seeing you, Jacob.
Jack, we need your expert opinion.
Yeah, you know what? Vegas is I wouldn't say they're doing all that great right now. Laners, I have him in fantasy in our league that we're in, Abra. He hasn't done much for me whatsoever in that league.
Yeah.
So that's been a struggle. And I think if I'm not
It's
mistaken,
almost like they should have found a way to keep Fleury.
I think if I'm not mistaken, they also have a couple of pretty big injuries in Vegas right now. I have to double check that, but
yes,
Pacioretty maybe out. Chandler Stevenson's out of the lineup.
Some guy they acquired named Jack Eichel too.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay.
Hey, they got Brett Howden. They're fine.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Anyways, Ava, we'll let you go. Thanks for hanging out for the second period.
And sorry, you know what, Clark? Before we let Ava go, because I think we'd be remiss. Ava, just the way that the season's gone so far, and hopefully we get to speak before the end of the season as well, but just the way things are going, do you have a prediction of how the Rangers season is going to finish out standings-wise, playoffs? What do you think is going to be the story of the 2021-2022 New York Rangers?
I am terrible at predictions, but I will. I think the Metro is just so hard because it could change so quickly. However, I think teams like the Islanders have fallen a little too far behind. I know Max's favorite saying is it's early, but
that it is.
I think we're almost getting to the point where if the Islanders don't start winning, more games soon, they're going to be in a little bit of a situation.
Getting a little too late to be early.
It's a little bit too late to be early, and I think they will make the playoffs ultimately. I don't know if it'll be wild card or division. I don't know, and I don't know if they'll make it out of the first round. I don't know if they'll win a playoff game. It really depends on who they're playing. If we're playing Detroit, I might be a little more confident than if we're playing Washington, even with the Rangers' history of Washington in the playoffs. But then we had Capitals legend Henrik Lundqvist, as I like to say.
Right.
That's right.
Speaking of him, I was just getting lost in his eyes on this MSG broadcast.
That's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, I know.
I'll be doing the same with Roman Yossi's post-game interview.
I love Yossi. A funny thing about the Predators, though, actually, is that I don't know if you saw on Twitter last time we played, they tweeted at Base Shesty, which is one of my best friends, knows puck, because the Preds social media interacts with Rangers fans so much, and it's actually really funny. So what happened was my friend messaged them and was like, let's make a friendly wager. Like, if the Rangers win, you have to tweet that I know puck. And if the Rangers lose, I will get a Predators jersey. And obviously the Rangers ended up winning. So we weren't even worried about the win at that point, our group chat that we're in. We were just like, they have to tweet that you know puck. Went through with it. And today they tweeted at him and just said hi.
That's funny.
I just love her. I love her name Sarah. I love her. She's one of the sweetest people on this app. But I just think I like when teams interact with their fans, which
absolutely.
Is why I'm
I agree.
Fan of that. And I
Do
think
it more often.
It makes the game more fun. Obviously the Rangers tagging me in a picture of Jacob Trouba could have gone multiple ways, but
Max, center up there. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Well, anyways, Ava, we'll let you go. Have yourself a good rest of your evening. Say hi to the family for us, and let's chat again soon.
Bye.
Take care, guys.
All right, Max, let's take a quick break. We'll come back after these short messages.
sure.
And then we'll get a little bit more before the second period, and then third period during the intermission, and we'll come back in for what's going to be an exciting third, because it's the Rangers kind of picked it up a little bit as Ava predicted they would.
Was that a much more even period, Clark?
Much
Was that
more.
Was that much more even period? Yeah,
It
good
was.
stuff.
We'll look at the stats and stuff after we come back from break. All right. Oh, Max is gone. I knew he was gone. I could see him in the background there, but that's okay. I can handle it for now until he gets back. Thanks to everybody for coming in tonight. It's been a super fun first broadcast for us here on the Hockey Podcast Network. Again, thanks to everybody on the team over there for helping us get it set up and letting us take the reins here for a Predators and Rangers game. It's a 1-0 lead for the Predators at the moment. Let me see if I can get that back up here. As we look at Max's beautiful jerseys, it is a 1-0 lead for the Predators as we head into the third period. As Max sits back down in his chair. I didn't mean to call you out there, Max, but I just had the screen up and I forgot to take you down, so I just left it in.
That's okay. Made it back. We got to see these glorious jerseys a little bit more.
I
right?
know. It was a good backdrop, so I wasn't too upset with
all that golden black. Yeah,
just do golden black. Clear the track. It's the golden black. So the Predators are up 1-0. An early second period goal by Philip Tomasino.
Hey, it's like I said, they needed to do that or something, right?
You did, yeah. They need to score a goal. That's a hot take, Max.
That's right. Hey, early in the period though. It couldn't be later. It couldn't be middle. No. It had to be early. So it was early.
You're right. So Philip Tomasino gets the goal for the Predators. Let's bring up the Predators stats here. We had a look at this in the first intermission. I kind of liked it. So it was a Tomasino from Forsberg and Carrier. Looks like Roman Josi led the way is leading the way for ice time. Not a surprise. And I'm excited to see Mikael Granlund so high up. Usually it's all defensemen because they obviously play a lot. But is this typical for Mikael Granlund to be this high up in ice time for the Preds, Max?
Buddy, he's like 5th in the league in assists right now, man. He's
I know that.
I'm very surprised that he's not on your radar. Yeah, no, Mikael Granlund is one of the most responsible hockey players that the Nashville Predators have ever seen. Going back to when Peter Laviolette actually was fired, part of the reason for that was the lack of oomph that the Predators got from Mikael Granlund when they acquired him for Kevin Fiala. They were really hoping that Mikael Granlund would be a game breaker type of player, somebody that they could count on for some much needed offense down the stretch of the year that they acquired him. It didn't happen. And it didn't happen for the first half of the season that Peter Laviolette was dismissed, famously right after they lost the Winter Classic game. So basically what I chalk that up to is John Hines' biggest success story has been the rejuvenation of Mikael Granlund, who's since signed 2 new contracts with the Nashville Predators. And he's just further entrenching himself as somebody that is a defensively responsible player, somebody that clearly has the offensive upside that he once had in Minnesota. It's more so again now just, okay, can that offense translate on a consistent level? And can it be something that the Predators can count on for 82 games, much like what the question is about Ryan Johansson and Matt Duchene, obviously not featured tonight, but the Predators are playing a pretty good road game considering they're missing 2 of their most highly counted on offensive producers, at least to start this season.
We got some comments firing in here. We got some people who are tuning into the Grey Cup up in Canada. So for those American viewers right now, tonight is the night of the Canadian Super Bowl, the Grey Cup. The CFL Hamilton, Ontario, the Hamilton Tiger Cats are facing off against the Winnipeg, Manitoba, Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And it's a tight matchup. It's 10-10 from what I'm seeing right now. And that's what the reports that I'm getting from some of the commenters here is that it's 10-10. I don't have the game up in front of me at this very moment. Now, one thing Matt said, Max, and you'll appreciate this. Matt says, I love seeing all those Canadian flags. When we were looking at the Nashville Predators stats, a lot of Canadians on that team. Can't be mad about that.
Absolutely.
The Beer Sports and Whatever podcast says, who are you guys rooting for in the Grey Cup? Max, you're not as much of a CFL guy as I am, but
are the LA Rams playing in the Grey Cup? Oh, sorry.
That would be a disadvantage to whoever the LA Rams were playing in the Grey Cup. It's Winnipeg, Hamilton, Max, 10-10 in the third quarter from what I'm seeing. What do you got? Who would you pick if you had to?
Oh man, you know what? This is bad Canadian of me. I really gotta whack myself on the wrist. Bad Canadian, Max. I maybe have watched one half of CFL football this year in their return to play. I don't think it's to be blamed on me as a fan at this point, based on all the things that we've seen or not seen from the CFL. But regardless, on a night where it's supposed to be celebrated, I really hope that people are enjoying the game out in Hamilton, Ontario, and I'm going to go with the home team. We all saw what an electric atmosphere it was when the Riders won it at home in the final season of Taylor Field, as it once was known. I'm going to go with the home team here. If Hamilton can pull out a win at home is it a pretty chilly December night in Hamilton?
It's not too bad. From what I've heard, it's not too bad.
They got lucky. Fantastic. So go Cats.
Yeah, especially like earlier in the summer when we were like Hamilton in December, it's gonna be a tundra. But it's actually great. Apparently the weather is not too bad over there. From TikTok, I got a question.
They're the saber-toothed tiger's cousin, right? The Tiger Cats. So I mean,
they're the same family.
It's a fit, right?
Yeah, same family.
Though that is black and gold.
Yeah, it is. You're right. Jason over on TikTok is asking who played the halftime show. Arkells played the halftime show.
Very good band.
With the Strumfellas as their opening act. So pretty decent Canadian halftime show, I must admit.
Absolutely.
I want to catch up on some comments here because we had a bunch coming in right near the end of that Ava interview. A lot of people saying, hey, Ava. So that's great. Now one said, Andrew says, can you tell us about yourselves? Of course, we are new to the channel, Max. So for anybody tuning in now, myself, I can take this down so you see our names. Producer Clark, I call myself. I am a producer for a sports talk show up in Canada. And then on top of that, me and my buddy Max here, let's go full screen here. Me and my buddy Max here, we have our show. We have our own show called The Squadcast, which we ran out of a studio for 62 episodes now, once a week. We're going to be changing things up in the near future, and coming onto this platform is actually part of the change. We're going to be doing some live streams of some hockey games here with the Hockey Podcast Network, and we're super pumped about it. Tonight has been a ton of fun already. It's only a 1-0 game. Imagine when we get high scoring games, that'll be fun.
I'm okay if it stays 1-0 at this point. I know I said I wanted high octane, high offense. If it stays 1-0 on that beauty by Tomasino, I'm good.
Absolutely. So again, Max over here is a Predators fan. So this game made a ton of sense that we were doing a game like this. I'm a Leafs fan, but I'm just enjoying watching some hockey on a Sunday night. I don't hate it whatsoever. So again, we have our show called The Squadcast. You can find us on every platform that there is: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, etc., etc. I'm on TikTok myself at Producer Clark. You can find me there. It's all kind of meshes together, and we go every Tuesday night on The Squadcast. We're probably going to be doing some more of these live streams as we go, especially now that we're comfortable doing one. I think we feel a little bit more comfortable doing a few more here as we go. I think there's a Tuesday night coming up, Max, that I think we're going to have to kind of commingle a Squadcast with an episode here on THPN. So we're going to have to talk about that as we go. But there's one coming up that I think we'll get we'll want to check out, and we'll talk about it after. But apparently the Tiger Cats have taken the lead 17-10. They just got a touchdown. So there you go. I've gotten a lot of questions about this Pats jersey behind me. Troll Bouncer on TikTok says, I like that Pats jersey. How old is it? It's actually new. So they based this jersey off of one of their original jerseys. I'm just trying to point to it on both of my devices here. It is based on about a 100-year-old jersey for the Regina Pats, but it's from 2018. So it's not old at all. It's actually pretty new. But it's the one they wore during the year they hosted the Memorial Cup here in Regina. Yeah, Regina Pats jersey is so sick. Yeah, that's Isha tuning in here. He's tuning in as the City Life Project. So thanks for popping in. What else we got in the comments here, Max? Here we go. I think this is talking about the CFL. I try to go to one Lions game a year just to support the league and the home team. Love the 3-down game personally.
Hey,
I
you
think
know
it's
what's kind of
great.
funny though, because when we talk about the Lions and the 3-down game, it kind of applies to the NFL team too. Really, I mean,
Yeah,
they
don't,
play a lot of games like they only have 3 downs. So
yeah, exactly. Donnell, have you guys? Oh, here we go. Have you guys checked out the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 trailer
Ooh.
yet? It looks hella good. Check out the trailer if you guys haven't. Max is the movie guy here, so Max, I'll let you take over.
I was gonna say, Donnell, and you know what? I truly am. I truly am a movie guy. I still and me and my girlfriend were talking about this last night. We still haven't watched the first one, and we're big Jim Carrey fans. Of course, it's nearly Christmas time. We're literally less than 2 weeks to Christmas. So we watched The Grinch, the famous one with Jim Carrey and the tens of hours of makeup. I'm sure it took every day to get him into that elaborate costume, but well worth it. Obviously a holiday classic. But when it comes to Sonic the Hedgehog 2, again, bringing up Jim Carrey, as obviously he's Eggman in the revitalization of the live action Sonic the Hedgehog movies. Live action CGI. The main characters are CGI, so I don't know if we call it live action. For sure you do.
Yeah,
Regardless. Anyways, I'm very excited. Idris Elba as Knuckles, I absolutely love. I will say that. But I have to watch the first one. I do admit I haven't seen it quite yet, but you can sign me up for the second. Anything with Idris Elba, I am so in on. I really am. So really excited about that, and we'll go from there.
Jacob asks.
Ask me about Spider-Man No Way Home. Ask
No.
me about that, and we could have a real conversation.
We will. Yes, I'll ask you that shortly. Jacob, I think this applies to both of us, Max. But hey, Clark, do you go to Tim Hortons? Absolutely, I do. I'm not a big coffee drinker though, so it's not like I go there for the coffee.
You're lame.
I go there for the other things.
You don't like stunting your growth.
Including, and not a sponsor here, but including the Tim Beebs. I didn't hate those. Do you have a cream colored Pats jersey from the outdoor game in Calgary?
Ooh.
No, Aaron, I don't. I wish. I wasn't with the team at that time. They had the outdoor game the year after I left the team, so I wasn't able to get my hands on one of those. But they were nice. Some of the red ones that they have right now, Max, are gorgeous. I would love to get one of those ones, the red ones that they have now.
Are you talking the one with the gradient, like up the bottom? That was the fan designed one. I didn't mind that actually. I thought that was all right.
At the beginning, I hate gradients.
Yeah.
But
gradients are tough in design.
When I saw them wear it, I was like, you know what, those aren't too bad. But they actually have full red jerseys this year, and they're really nice looking. Okay, here we go, Max. The game is back on here. The game is back on. But Donnell did say, have you guys seen the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer yet?
Oh, I've got my tickets, Donnell. I will be, I would like to say front row, but technically I'll be middle row at the Landmark Cinemas here in Regina, Saskatchewan. If you want to find me, 7 o'clock. If there's even any tickets left, I will be there at No Way Home. So no spoilers on Thursday night. I typically would go to like the Thursday night showing of something like this, but I've got a buddy that's coming into town after a long time away, and our thing is kind of going to Marvel movies, especially this one, which is easily the most hyped one I think we've ever seen. It's the most hyped Marvel movie since the last Marvel movie. But obviously the iconic character that is Spider-Man, I'm pretty damn excited, I must say.
The game is back on, so I'll throw this back up as we go. I want to keep reading some comments here and get this viewer engagement. It's coming in hot right now, so I want to keep it going. Aaron Matthews has the cream color jersey, so Aaron, I'm jealous. Jacob asks, how tall are both of you? I'm 5'11". Jacob.
On a tall Jacob or a short day?
Let's go on a tall day, Max.
On a tall day, I'm 5'8 3/4".
Nailed it. I'm 6'3", so we look a little weird in pictures together. But at the end of the day,
okay.
At the end of the day, size doesn't matter. The City Life Project.
Easy, Rod. Easy.
I know. You pumped on the Matrix remake? Lawrence Fishburne is not even in it. So I've been seeing a lot of commercials. They're pumping it up here. I've seen a ton of Keanu Reeves commercials with him in it, and I was a big fan of the original Matrix trilogy, and I'm kind of excited that they're bringing it back. I don't know what angle they're going with it. I haven't really looked into it a whole lot, but I would love to see it in theaters. I don't go to a ton in theaters, and I wouldn't mind going to that one in a movie theater. I think it'd be pretty cool. Max, maybe it's a squad cast trip we have to plan.
Could definitely do that. Yep. Anything with Keanu, I'm in.
Yeah, exactly. He's a good dude. Good Canadian boy.
That's right.
Okay, let's get back into the game here. We are 2 minutes or so in, 18:37 on my clock. Ooh, and I just saw a crossbar. So the Rangers are buzzing early. Now, as I mentioned, the first period, we've determined after further review that it was a heavily dominated Predators period. Second period, I must say, was it evened out a little bit. Oh boy. It evened out a little bit. The Rangers kind of came back and put a little pressure on Max. As you see here, let me just scroll through the stats again as we kind of get into this period really quick. The shots after the end of the first period were heavy Predators. I think it was 13-6, if I'm not mistaken, for the Preds. Now it's much closer. If we scroll down here to the hits, the Predators are still leading the way, but the Rangers are leading in giveaways. Takeaways and giveaways, but the turnover battle is also interesting here tonight. Very dead even on faceoffs. So it's evened out quite a bit as these teams get going here for the third. What are you wanting to see here from the Predators standpoint, Max, as we head into the third period?
Finish the road trip strong. I think that's kind of what my sentiments were echoed early on in the game, is that, you know what, this is a bit of a dangerous spot if you're the Predators, right? This is literally the last game since you board the flight to head home. Find a way to close this out. Doesn't matter how ugly it's got to be. It doesn't matter if you get 3 shots this period. You've got the goal that you need. It doesn't need to be flashy. If you can open it up and get an insurance marker, by all means. But if you just play tight defensively here, again, they're shorthanded tonight. You're missing Ryan Johansson and Matt Duchene. You find a way to win this game. That says big things about the character on the team, especially at the tail end of a road trip here. So I'm just looking for them to find a way to close it out clean here, not get too fancy, except Roman Yossi's looking like he wants to. Oh, AJ McCarron.
That was close.
You love when I say AJ McCarron. I do know it's Michael McCarron, but
that is the third string quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons at the moment.
Inside outside joke.
Yeah, exactly.
But regardless, yeah, no, as long as the Preds find a way to close out the last 16 and a half here, as my dad would say in the coaching ranks, 20 miles to go, boys. Well, actually 16 and a half miles.
16 and a half miles to go.
But they overall, I've been happy with the road game that they've played. Again, being shorthanded, no excuse. If they lose, I'm going to make that the excuse. But regardless, they're not going to. They're going to close this thing out. They're going to find a way here. It'd be nice to add an insurance marker for fantasy purposes, because we all know that we have Roman Josi somewhere in our fantasy worlds here.
I don't have him on any of my teams.
Just a different fantasy world for you then.
Yeah, very different. That's a whole different show. One thing I will say, Max, we've had a conversation in the past, and I'd like you to maybe talk about it a bit. The Predators are a team that don't necessarily have a dynamic game breaker type of offensive guy. It's now especially that Duchene and Johansson are out, who are 2 guys who are having nice seasons for them.
Mm-hmm.
What do they need to do on a nightly basis in order to win games? Because again, some teams can outscore their problems. The Predators don't seem to be a team that necessarily is in that boat often. So what every night, like, are they a goaltending based team? Do they shut teams down in the neutral zone? What's their biggest strength that helps them win games?
It's a little something called the Predator Way. And the Predator Way, as an overarching encompassing theme, it's kind of what you alluded to, Clark. It's keeping shots to the outside. It's finding ways to stay defensively structured and not play outside yourselves. Philip Forsberg, I would argue, is certainly a game-breaking forward when he is healthy, when he's playing consistently. But he's a guy that hasn't topped 70 points in his career quite yet, even though he certainly has the skill to do it. But you know what? It's leaning on these young guys. It's finding a way that again, Philip Tomasino, Eli Tolvanen, guys like this, Alexander Carrier, who recently really ingrained himself in my heart as a guy that could easily be a top 4 defenseman in this league, playing alongside Roman Josi and doing a hell of a job at it. It's like I said, but I love seeing Tomasino out here in situations like this, right? It's not a defensive zone faceoff, but a neutral zone faceoff. Again, just allowing these young guys to grow. But for the Preds to win and consistently win, it's just finding a way to be one less mistake than the other team. And they do a good job of that by not playing the most exciting brand of hockey. Like you said, it's very rare that they throw up 4, 5, 6 goals in a contest. But when they do, it's a lot of fun. And a lot of you find these types of games being a common theme with the Predators a lot of nights. It's 1-0, it's 2-1, it's 3-2, those types of games. So it's, again, maybe not the most exciting brand of hockey if you're looking to ingrain yourself as a hockey fan. But with that being said, it's winning hockey, and that is the Predator way. It's keep it buttoned down, find a way to keep low quality chances off the board. Don't give up a ton of grade A opportunities, and capitalize on the grade A opportunities that you get.
Right. Jacob, thanks for the love, buddy. He says he's watching us and the Vegas game. So thanks for hanging out with us tonight, Jacob. You're the best. One comment. So Andrew said you skipped my comment. And Andrew, I wasn't skipping your comment. I actually wanted to make it a bit of a focus for the rest of the show. And just missed a chance in front of the net there.
That would have been a big insurance.
Another one too. Here's the comment, Max, I was wondering about. So Andrew said, I got 2 kinds of chips and popcorn. So he's living the life right now.
Nice.
Max, and I want to know the viewers' thoughts here, especially we got a nice crop of people in here right now. What's your go-to potato chip? So this could be potato, this could be corn chip and chip, and just let's say chips in general. You know what I'm talking about.
Chips in general. Oh man.
When you're walking through a store and you see this, you're like, yeah, that's my one. That's my one that I go to every time.
I don't know. This may be, again, forgive my ignorance, people. It's been a while since I've been in the United States of America. But do they have Miss Vicky's?
I think they have Miss Vicky's. Yeah.
My dad, he was always a guy that was just the original. It was, I would say, the green bag of Miss Vicky's, which everybody knows is the sea salt and malt vinegar, which were great. But I have
like the teal green.
Yeah, sorry, the teal green, the San Jose Shark green, so to speak.
Yeah, they have a green one. I think that's also jalapeno. I think
they've got 3 or 4 different green ones now because they got the spicy dill, which is excellent. But I'm a blue bag guy, which is the sweet chili and sour cream.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is like, give me 26 minutes and a bag of those, and some things will happen. Let's just say that bag will not last a very long time in my possession. But that's got to be my go-to chip. That, or you know what? I'm kind of a plain Jane dude in the sense of I just like a bag of classic Lays. I really do.
I've gone back and forth several times in my career over.
It's a career.
It's a career. The amount of chips I've eaten, it might as well be a career. I've gone back and forth. I used to be, like the sour cream and onion was kind of my thing early. Then I got into barbecue flavors pretty heavy, and the bold barbecue Doritos were a big thing for me for a while. Mm-hmm. Then I got into the spicier flavors. So like the Flamin' Hot Cheetos, for example, were pretty big, and they're still up there.
Yeah.
And like, again, the Miss Vicky's good option there. Really good option. I've
kettle cooked crunch. You just
the
can't
crunch.
beat it.
Yeah, exactly. I think I've settled into a new favorite, and I don't know if like this is a bad thing or not, but Cheetos. I've gone from Flamin' Hot and I've taken it down a notch to the jalapeno and cheddar Cheetos. And man, those ones just are perfect. They got a little heat to them, but they're not quite as as bold as a Flamin' Hot. I do like the Flamin' Hots, but the jalapeno and cheddar just kind of balance everything out. And I didn't think I was going to like it for a while. I tried them once, didn't love them, and then now I've kind of re-embraced them. So
Clark, have you heard of this bag? Though it's a newer bag of Cheetos, anyways. Like, I don't know, last 4 or 5 years. It's a blue bag, and it comes out like every April, and they're called the Flamin' Out Cheetos. And believe it or not, I believe the mascot actually is wearing a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey. I don't know if you've heard of them. I just wanted to bring your attention to them. They're called the Flamin' Outs.
I can mute you, right? Yeah, I can mute you. Okay, Max is muted. This is going to be a better show. No, yeah, I hear you. Good one.
Yeah, I know. Nailed it.
They do have a new one that is sweet chili, though. I know that they came out with a sweet chili edition. I don't know if it's still out there or not, but that was a decent one. I tried it once. It was okay.
Hold on, one other thing.
Yeah.
Boom, roasted. Just had to work that in.
Yeah, you nailed that one. That was a good one.
I really did.
That was a good one. I can't go wrong with Doritos most nights. The other one that's always good, and Americans will have no idea what I'm talking about here, all dressed Ruffles.
Yeah. Those are a little intense for me. I think like if I wanted to go on a diet, I would eat those because I feel like I can only have 12 and then my mouth is just like coated with that flavor for like the rest of the day. So maybe that's my diet chip. I don't know. We'll see when the diet starts, but
interesting. Yeah, but the all dressed Americans, I feel bad for you because it's a great flavor overall, and you can get several different kinds. like brands, I mean. But overall, I really do like that. Let's go through some of the viewers here because there's a ton of this is always a good topic to get a few comments on the board. Matt J, clearly Canadian, says ketchup. He's from Moose Jaw, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Ketchup.
Jacob says sour cream and bacon. Nice flavor there. A lot of sour cream or salt and vinegar. So I'll put Andrew's up, salt and vinegar. We got a couple of those. This one's interesting. Kettle pepperoncini.
Oh,
now
pepperoncini. What?
Yeah, that's Isha talking. Now that's an
I've never
one.
heard of these, Isha, but I love pepperoncinis.
Pepperoncini. It is.
Is it Old Dutch?
I don't think it's Miss Vicky.
Help us out here, Isha. You can't just drop that atomic bomb and not let us know what's going on.
I've tried these, and as soon as he says what brand it is, I'm going to be mad that I don't.
Oh, I love pepperoncini, though. I'd give that a go.
Now here it is. I straight up used it to catch fish, and they love it too. That's so. We got a few more here, I think. Oh no, everyone's just agreeing with our choices. So there you go. I can't remember. I've seen the pepperoncinis though. I've seen it. The Rangers are on a
easy, Fox. Easy.
Attaway
Carrier. That goes on a t-shirt somewhere. Oh my goodness. UC Saros, you are not human.
Oh. So I think since the beginning of the game, I've actually fallen behind your stream, or you've fallen behind me, because I saw that a couple seconds before you.
Probably did.
What a play. What a play.
What a save by UC Saros.
Saros goes after it with the glove, misses it, and hits him in the pad, but still works.
It's just great positioning.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
That's exactly it. It's positioning. You got to be
a hell of a pass by Panarin.
You got to be good to be lucky sometimes.
That's right. Got a whole other minute. You know what? This Rangers power play scares me. And just you look at the skill level on it. My goodness.
It's good.
Ryan Strome, Adam Fox, he won a Norris. He's
Benajad's in the slot there. Kreider's the net front guy.
And then Artemi Panarin, you heard of that? Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness.
Not bad. Not bad. What was the
penalty? But you know what, though? You know what? As much star power as they have, they're not UC Staros. They just
Max. It's straight up Kettle brand pepperoncini.
Kettle brand.
The brand is Kettle. I've seen them before.
Oh yeah, they kind of got like the weird writing on them.
Yeah, almost Smashville looking writing. No,
no, that's fair. You're right. It looks horrible. You're right, but it sells chips.
It's kind of like
it's not going to sell jerseys.
Designed into the chip bag. It's great. Those are a good brand. I forgot about those.
Yep. Again, a big crunch, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, super. Yeah, exactly. Ava, here's one for you, Max. Your goalie is annoying me, Max.
Remember that Dikembe Mutombo thing? No. Yeah. That's UC Saros saying that to the New York Rangers power play at the moment. But you know what? I've watched many a Predators games, and as soon as I start doing that type of stuff, bad things happen. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to shut it down. We're going to shut it down. Maybe they'll get another grade A chance as the karma for what I just did, but outside of that,
another one here.
Oh my gosh! He's so good.
See, I like this because I can kind of prep you to be excited or not excited for certain things.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I see
when we get to the commercial break here, Max, there's a question.
First star of the game, UC Stars.
Yeah,
that's it.
We got a question over on TikTok, and I want to bring it up. And maybe when the action kind of slows down here, Leafs fan MD 42069 asks. It's not Massimo. It's not my buddy Massimo. It's
interesting
a
number combination.
Yeah, I don't know what that means even. But he says, do you think there will be a huge blockbuster trade this year? And if so, who? So let's talk about that a little bit as we get into a breakage here. So we can even kind of think about it.
I think it already was done. The Jack Eichel trade was done already.
The Jack Eichel trade was probably the biggest one we're going to see this year, I think. And I'll tell you why in a second. But I do think there are some candidates out there that are big-ish as well. We'll talk about that in a sec.
Yeah.
Jacob's watching the Vegas game. He says, so far, Vegas looks like the better team. That's always good when you're a fan of that team. That's always good. Andrew, maybe give us an update on the Grey Cup if anybody's watching the Grey Cup as well. It was 17-10 for the Tiger Cats last I checked. Last I heard, I should say. I didn't check. We got some viewer comments that told us otherwise. Here we go, Max. Not a huge save, but a save nonetheless.
It's a save.
All right. I think this is going to be a TV timeout. No? Nope. Next whistle. Okay. 22-10 for the Ticats. And I think it's in the fourth quarter at this point. 22-10. I'm seeing over on TikTok. So it looks like they're on their way to a victory. Now, the Tiger Cats have had some bad luck in Grey Cups gone by. So I don't know if it's over yet, but that's a pretty good score to be going into a fourth quarter situation, up 12. So Rangers are in the Predators' end here. They're putting those top guys out a lot this last couple minutes. I know it was a power play, but Strome and Panarin are out there again. So they're pushing their big dogs out there. And like Ava was saying earlier, shout out to Ava, NHL Ava. Go follow her on TikTok. Go follow her on Twitter, NHL Ava. Is it _ Ava on Twitter? It might be. Just go search up NHL Ava. You'll find her. She was saying earlier, though, that, like a few other teams around the league now, just the way that certain salary structures are going, the Rangers are pretty top heavy. So when they need offense, they're going to have to put their big boys out a lot. Mm-hmm. And what that leads to is them getting tired and them getting mistakes. And the way the Predators play, Max, credit to what you said earlier, the Predator way, it's a grinding down type of style. And if they're going to give those big boys a real hard time, we could see the Predators force a mistake or two here in the last 10 minutes or so of this period, which would then lead to a capitalized chance on the other side. So we'll see how that goes. I think that's kind of the key to the rest of the game here, though.
To borrow a boxing analogy, you can let the other team jab themselves to death when it comes to just tiring themselves out and getting in a bit of a spot. But the other thing, though, too, right, is obviously these are some of the best conditioned athletes in the world. And I don't see any reason why Artemi Panarin, especially with as much ozone time as they're having to at least this point in the third period, he's going to be out there for 6-7 more minutes without a doubt. So knock on wood that UC Saros can find a way to continue to make some of these otherworldly saves. Because again, this is first star goes to him at this point of the evening. Zero question.
Oh yeah. Andrew's giving you a shout out here, Max. If you check on your screen.
Thank you, Andrew.
Max is a beast.
Here's just the beard. That's all it is.
Andrew, now I can answer this one. Are you going to see Sing 2? So I have 2 daughters, and Sing 1 was a big hit in our house. So the fact that they're coming out with the second one, we probably will go to Sing 2 in the movie theaters, because I go to more kids movies in the movie theaters than anything else. So I probably will, honestly. Oh, here's a good one. The Soda Pod's checking in. What's going on? The Minnesota folk are checking in here, Max. So that's shout out.
Okay, we're not allowed to do that though, because we're Canadians, and I'm sure there's a lot of American podcasts that like to emulate our accents as well.
Well, that's
not how Sodans sound.
Why not? Minnesota. Yeah, it is.
Is that it?
I think so. If you ever watched How I Met Your Mother, you know the episode where they go to the Vikings.
That's Robin Scherbatsky's accent. She's Canadian.
No, when they go to the Vikings bar, dummy.
Yeah.
That's the Minnesota bar.
I remember that one.
Marshall takes her to.
Yeah. That's not how they sound.
That's how they sound. Hey, if they're gonna say that that's how we sound after they go to the Hoser
F for effort.
After they go to the Hoser Hut and they think
the Hoser Hut. That's where the Canadians are all
right. But then Marshall takes Robin to a Vikings bar, which is Minnesota Vikings, and they're all Minnesota people, and that's how they talk.
Yeah, and then she pulls out her Canadian accent, which is that one.
I know.
Don't try to out How I Met Your Mother, me man. It ain't a battle you're gonna win.
At the same time, there's still
like a first round series. At least you're just not gonna win it.
Oh, geez, here we go.
Yeah.
Jacob says, "What if I told you I'm from Canada?" Well, I'd say, "Sup, dude."
That's great. That's great, eh?
Yeah, that's great, eh? How's the weather out there, dude? Damn, is this what it's like when other teams play Shesterkin? Yes, Ava, and everyone hates it just as much.
It is. This is exactly how it went in October back in Nashville, Ava. So I'm sorry, I'm not feeling all that bad, but Saros looks in some kind of zone. But with that, there's 7 minutes left in this game, and whatever push that we've seen, it's only going to be magnified. So Rangers fans, I don't know, you might have a reason to be excited here soon. And if you don't, well, then sorry. Not sorry.
Just have to clarify 2 things here. Little Minnesota is the bar from the show.
Yeah.
So there you go. And Travis Hunter over on my TikTok channel says, "I love that Boston jersey, man." It's not a Boston jersey. It's an Estevan Bruins jersey from the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. You can't tell when I have my head here, but when I have my head here, that light there, and now my stream on YouTube, you aren't know what I'm pointing at, but this right here is an
Now you just look silly.
SJHL patch. I'll point to it on this channel as well. SJHL, Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. Not
oh, Ava, don't do that. Don't put out that comment. That we don't need that. Nope.
Here, I'll put that up on the screen.
Nope.
Shut up. Shut up.
Nope.
Shut up.
That only works for the opposite way. It doesn't. Nope. I ain't saying it. I don't know what that word is.
We're not saying it, so who knows? Anyways, it's not a Boston Bruins jersey. It's an Estevan Bruins jersey. Just want to clarify that so everyone knows.
I'm pretty sure I called that like 3 minutes before we got on this stream,
and I put it there willingly and knowingly that would happen as well. So it is what it is. But I didn't want to have 4 Leafs jerseys on the wall behind me for a game that doesn't include the Leafs. I had to change it up.
Good call, because otherwise I'd need to be using the trash can I got next to me.
Exactly.
Look at all those Preds fans enjoying their night out in New York.
A little puke action, Max.
How do we do the Brooklyn accent?
Forget about it.
Eh? No.
Is that Brooklyn, or are we just gonna get like mafia'd here?
Yeah, we might. We should stop.
Is Brooklyn forget about it, or is that a different borough?
Is that Jersey? Is that when you go to Jersey?
No.
Jersey?
I will never go to New Jersey. No, it's not New Jersey. No, Jersey is more like the Jersey Shore type stuff. Then that might be a little bit extreme as well, but
yeah.
It's a little bit more kind of Italian-y looking or sounding.
Italian-y looking.
Yeah, it is not Jersey, Ava said.
A little Tony D'Angelo looking, okay?
Forget about it is New York. I think Jersey people, if from what I've understood.
The gabagool.
Yeah, that's New York too. From what I understand, New Jersey people want to be New York people. That's the old How I Met Your Mother episode where they be from New Jersey for an episode.
Yeah. That seemed offside. If they score here, I would challenge that.
They won't.
You're right. They won't. UC Saros is in that. They won't.
Jacob McDonald just got stretchered off the ice. Now, what team is Jake? Oh, is that the Grey Cup? Interesting. This is an interesting one. Clark, do you know where Halifax is? Because that's where I'm from. Jacob, yes, I've been to Halifax. It's a fantastic area of the world, and I would like to go there more often, but it costs an arm and a leg to go to the Maritimes from Saskatchewan, so it's hard to do that.
The Mooseheads, home of Predators 2021 first-round pick Zachary Leroux.
I hope
how he was left off of Canada's selection camp roster is still beyond me. He's gone on a tear since they announced it, though, and he wasn't on it. I love the mentality. He's going to be the prove-it guy that says, you know what? Shouldn't have left me off this team.
If Nashville, when he gets there, doesn't have a field day when he scores a goal with the Leroux and they do something with his last name, they need to retire their announcer.
Well, his NHL comparable was Brad Marchand. So if he's like even 3/4 of what Brad Marchand is in terms of the actual skill side of things, I'll be very happy with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Halifax is awesome. I'm on the opposite coast, says Isha on the City Life Project. Yeah, Vancouver and Halifax are pretty far away.
Oh, Tommy Novak, nice play behind the net. Mark Borowiecki, Matt Benning.
I always find funny. I often find, and Americans, feel free if you're watching to correct me here, but there's I'm going to say a lack of sense of how big Canada is in the States.
Mm-hmm.
And when somebody's driving from, let's say, New York to Boston, that's only, a few hours. It's a big drive, but it's not that big of a drive. Whereas driving from Toronto to Vancouver, somebody's like, I remember somebody asked me one time, it's like, how long does that take? And I'm like, I don't know, like 40 hours probably.
Yeah.
They're like, what? Maybe even longer than that. Honestly.
Lot of land.
It might be even like a 3-day trip. It might be a 72-hour drive from Vancouver to Toronto. But we drove to Vancouver from Regina, and Regina's in the middle of the country. We drove to Vancouver 2 years ago last year. When were we married? Yeah, last year for our 5th year anniversary. And that is a long drive. Oh my God.
It's not a short one. Nope. Not a quick one.
That's a long drive. So I can't imagine going all the way from Toronto to Vancouver. let's pull up the stats screen and switch it up a little bit. See what else.
Preds are having a little bit of pushback here from their fourth line. Actually, this is
you notice the Rangers are the score effects are taking over a little bit because the Rangers shots have just skyrocketed now. They're 30 to 32, I think, now to 24. Again, Tomasino is the lone goal scorer here tonight. Michael, your boy AJ Michael McCarron got a penalty earlier in the period. That's the only penalty this period. So yeah, I don't know. Is that even? Yeah, it's showing up. Yeah, it's good. But yeah, it's an interesting game here so far. 3 minutes left, 3.5 minutes. It's going to be a big push here from the Rangers. I'm assuming they're going to pull their goalie if they haven't already. They haven't yet, I don't think, but they will soon, I'm sure.
It's getting a little late to be early, though. They're going to have to find a way to tickle the twine.
Ooh, a little deflection there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's get it out, Phil. Let's get it out. Yep. Slow it down. Yep.
8 minutes left in the Grey Cup. It is 22-13.
No, still a game there then.
Yeah, so Winnipeg just got a field goal, clearly, because it was 22-10 a minute ago. So
it's moments like this where I wish there was a 2-minute warning in hockey where they just shut things down.
Yeah.
At the 2-minute mark when your team is just under siege.
Might not be a bad time for a timeout. What's your stance on timeouts at this point in the game? Like, I know it'll give the Rangers a break, but it might kill some momentum too.
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, at this point, it's only if you've iced the puck a number of times and you can't get your line off the ice, right? So the Preds haven't been able to do that. They've been able to kind of stay flush with their line changes. They've been able to keep it somewhat short. Nobody's getting too gassed. But unless you just have to ice a puck and give your guys out there, because obviously you can't change when you do. Oh.
Everybody's okay in that exchange, but that was
Benning's grabbing his head, though. That was just kind of a coincidentally, like he was going down, and Benning might have got the worst of that. He might have wore a bit of a knee to the head there.
I think he was just adjusting his helmet, but it still doesn't look great.
No.
A little front flip action there.
Good non-call by the refs, though, because that could have easily been a...
I don't think that would have been a call for anything.
No, shouldn't have been. Glad it wasn't.
So 1 minute and 40 seconds left here.
Rangers are getting possession, then they'll have to pull Georgiev.
Yeah, coming down to the wire. Whistle, long ice.
See, now there's that ice, right? So if you're the Predators here, this would be the only time that you'd want to do it. They got fresh, they got fresh legs, so you're good.
They just changed their line, so I think you're good.
And I mean, we all saw Tanner Jeannot in studio. The guy's in pretty good condition. I think he could stay out there for a good minute or so.
Jones Mixology. You ain't watching the Grey Cup? No, we're doing a live stream here with our new partners, the Hockey Podcast Network. So we're doing that tonight. But I am
way better than the Grey Cup.
Yeah, I am keeping an eye on the Grey Cup as we go. We're getting updates from everybody, and I got it on the background. I'm keeping the updates going, so we're good. We're good. But
it's good to know though that there's some good loyal CFL fans that are checking to make sure. Like, hey, are you watching it? Are you doing it? Are you sure? Well,
on my TikTok channel at Producer Clark, again, shout out over there. Go check it out if you're on TikTok. I've made a few CFL videos over the last, 8-9 months now. So people know that I'm a CFL fan. And
when you say a few, you literally mean a few.
I've made, I think 4
or 5.
What's
the percentage of CFL on the amount of videos that you've done? Because how many videos have you now done?
Oh boy, I haven't looked in a while. I think I'm over 1,000 though. I'm well over 1,000.
Yeah, I think I'm at 9. I got some work. got some work to do.
Yeah, you got to get that content game up. Now, Max, here's the thing though. I will say, Menzies, what's going on, dude? I will say, if you were able to get enough followers to go live on TikTok, we could be live on here and over
easy
time. Just saying.
Sorry, I'm in that moment right now where it's
I got.
Also, you know what? Live streams are not good for Predators offense. This is our second game.
But at least you're winning. You're winning this one at least.
Well, easy. It ain't over
yet. A stream, a few weeks ago, we did a stream of the Leafs and Predators, and Leafs won that one. What, 3-1?
Yeah, I got a bet with my buddy. You know him, Benjamin. Good guy.
Yeah.
Yes. That'll work. That's fine. Oh! Just wide. Little delayed.
That's okay. I was waiting for it. What happened? Because you were ahead of me earlier in the game.
I don't know, man. I'm live. I'm at where I'm at. It's that MSG, man. They crashed, and then I don't know. Things are just going fast now.
I guess.
Okay, boys. Let's just know there's gonna be one more like grade A chance here.
20 seconds. 20 seconds.
See, this is where the boys are getting a little tired. If they got to ice the puck, that's when you call a timeout if you're the Preds. Attaboy, Eki. Attaboy, Eki.
8 seconds. Oh, I think that might be it, Max.
Great, we can do this again.
Oh, that was a little nerve-wracking right at the end.
Oh, the knuckle puck coming on net. UC's got that. That was
I know.
C+ in terms of his chances today. What a great game by 74. Wow.
Just a little nervous with that knuckle puck by Adam Fox at the end, though.
Wow.
Predators win. It is over. Game over.
4-0 on the road trip. 8 points. Let's go.
Now, Max, I just want to give you one quick update, and then we'll talk about the hockey game.
Please do.
The Blue Bombers just got a touchdown. It is 22-19. What did I tell you? The Tiger Cats have not had great luck in Grey Cup games, and now it's just a 3-point game.
Now it's in their head.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Oh, field goal. So the extra point, it's actually 22-20 now. I'm just getting the update from New Brunswick Junior Hockey over on TikTok. So it's a 2-point game in the Grey Cup. But Nashville pulls out a 1-0 win. Let's take a look at some of the player statistics here. Obviously, first star of the night goes to Mr. Saros.
Yes, sir.
Do they have goalie stats here? It doesn't look like it. Interesting. But the shots ended up being.
Hey,
30.
Guess what? They had a lot of shots, and he stopped them all. That's all you need to know.
Stopped them all. 32 saves by the looks of it.
Yes,
wonder
sir.
if it's in match summary. Does it show in here? Nope. So anyways, 32 saves, it looks like, for UC Saros. It might end up being a couple more because I think they kind of piled on a couple at the end of the game there.
You got to count that knuckle puck save.
Knuckle puck save count. So it's probably closer to 35. Unbelievably good game by UC Saros.
Yes.
Really good game. Philip Tomasino would get the second star because he scored the only goal in the game. And I would say third star probably goes to Georgiev. Not like he was tested a ton tonight. I know the Preds had a good early start to the game where he was making some saves, but overall just kept the Rangers nice and solid and nice and relaxed because he made some saves throughout the night. The Preds did get a couple chances kind of throughout the game. So 1-0 win for the Predators, ending off a road trip. Max, that was your key to the game. You just wanted a nice clean end of the road trip. So you got to be feeling pretty happy right now.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, again, we talked about it a little bit earlier, right? It's early in the season still. It's not quite that halfway point. We're getting to that 30% mark, but these are the points that you got to get, these dog days of December, as it were. Especially when you're on the road, it's tough to win. It's tough to win in an environment like Madison Square Garden. It just is. So when the Predators can go out and put that kind of effort forth, again, it wasn't the cleanest game, but like I said, tail end of a road trip, and you found a way to get the W. You lean on your all-star goaltender, and make no mistake about it, people. If you watched along with us tonight, you now know UC Saros is an all-star caliber goaltender. And it again, right? You lean on what you know. And when it comes to UC tonight, he's undoubtedly the first star. And Philip Tomasino, again, the next guy up, as it were, in terms of our prospect chain, coming through with a beauty of a goal. Like Ava had mentioned, Georgiev may have been screened a little bit on it, but either way, you still got to put the puck find a way to tickle the twine. So, it was overall, that's a good road effort by the Preds, and very happy to see them move to 17-10-1.
Now, Max, again, I got to keep you updated here because the Grey Cup is coming down to the wire. The CFL moves fast because the Bombers just punted the ball after they scored, which means they got the ball back already, and now they punted it through the end zone for a rouge. Now, for America, you can get 1 point if you punt the ball through the end zone, and they just did it. So it's actually now 22-21. It's a 1-point game. After all they need is to kick it through the end zone one more time and it's a tie. Like that's one of the weird aspects of the CFL for those who don't know.
Yes.
So anyways, that's it moves fast in the CFL and you can get some points pretty quick in weird ways. Donnell says, dang, Your Predators swept the New York metropolitan area, beat my local hockey teams, Islanders, Devils, and the Rangers tonight.
All three of them down.
All
And
three
you
of
know
them.
what? And the other thing too, right? It goes without saying, or well, it doesn't go without saying, but Preds were shorthanded tonight. You're missing Duchesne, you're missing Johansson, and you find a way to get a win. It doesn't matter if it's 1-0, 2-0. You just got to come out on the right side of the scoreboard. So pretty happy with all the guys that suited up tonight. Man, what an effort. That's exactly what you kind of need. And those are again, if we want to talk about later in the season, those are the kind of playoff type efforts that you need to win games. Sometimes you just got to keep it clean. And sometimes you just have a goaltender that is seeing everything like a beach ball. And Saros was certainly doing that tonight.
So again, first star tonight is going to be going to UC Saros, second star to Philip Tomasino, and we're giving the third star to Alex Georgiev, the goaltender for the New York Rangers. Max, we should probably wrap this up as this is coming to a close, our first broadcast on the Hockey Podcast Network. For those who were here from start to finish, I saw, Jacob was here. I know Donnell was hanging out with us for most of the night. Andrew, we had some people coming in and out. Ava for being our first guest on the Hockey Podcast Network. Ava, thank you so much. I think she's still hanging out in the comments. Here we go.
She's also chirping on with an L.
Apologies for Trouba laying someone out yet again. So there you go.
Hey, you know what, though? That's okay. The Nashville Predators laid out the New York Rangers. It is what it is.
There it is.
You laid them out with an L.
Exactly.
Just kidding, Nate. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. That was a lot of fun.
I know that Isha was checking in, and I saw Josh check in earlier. So thanks to everybody at THPN for help getting us on here, but also just allowing us to hang out and take a part in the network. And I think we're pretty excited about that. Absolutely. So, Max, I'll give you a last word here before we log out. Thoughts on the evening?
The evening was fantastic. It was great. Not great for my fantasy football team, but fantastic as a Predators fan and a hockey fan, and getting to share it with a lot of like-minded individuals and fans of this great game. Hope to do it many more times throughout the rest of the season. Thank you very much to the Hockey Podcast Network. Obviously, some really good things to come from this, and certainly hoping to be a part of it for a good amount of time. So appreciate the gentlemen over there that helped make it happen. And like I said, let's do that hockey.
Now, if you like the broadcast tonight, and you enjoyed us, why not give a subscription down below? Hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the like button as well on YouTube. If you're watching that, hit that like button before you take off here tonight. If you liked us as well, after the video is over, go and comment on the video itself. Go comment on the wall. That'd be great. Let everybody know that you had a good time. That always is good as well. So, and might as well shout these guys out. You see in the bottom corner this way over here, DraftKings, with the promo code THPN, you can head over there, create an account, use that promo code, and it'll give you a nice little deal. So go check that out, DraftKings as well, because they've been on the screen all night. You got to check them out. DraftKings, they're great people over there, and it's always a fun product to use in DraftKings. I've used DraftKings several times over my years, and it's always fun to kind of.
Have you ever won anything on it though, Clark?
Yes,
be honest.
Yes, I did once. Did
you bet on the Leafs? No, nope. You didn't. You're a liar.
Why would I do that? I'm a Leafs fan. I'm not an idiot. But yeah, use the promo code THPN on DraftKings and check it out and create your account today. Otherwise, I'm probably going to say good night for now. Producer Clark checking in, Mad Max Ritz from the Squadcast on the THPN. I guess the THPN is redundant, but on THPN. So thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. And we'll let the closing video play you out. Max, we'll talk to you again soon. It's on Tuesday during the Squadcast, which is our show. Go check out our channel. We have Toronto Blue Jays pitcher Ross Stripling joining us, and the Hockey News editor and writer Stephen Ellis. We're going to be talking World Juniors with him. But a big chat with Ross Stripling as the MLB lockout continues, and he's a part of it. He's a pitcher in the league. So we'll
get the inside scoop, literally from the players.
Exactly. So until then, we'll see you guys. And thanks again for checking out the Hockey Podcast Network. Bye for now.
Take care, everybody.